Hi everyone, this is Mathieu Kadar, and I'm the ghost face in the opening scene in Scream 6. And yes, I'm the one who kills Samara Weaving, and you're watching Craven Something Scary.
All right. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, visitors, subscribers, patrons, and of course, my channel members known as my Cravenites. Welcome to Craven Something Scary, where it's all horror all the time. Well, ladies and gentlemen, tonight is Monday night. It's my normal streaming night of the week. I do Saturdays and Mondays, and usually somewhere in between there, I'll throw in an impromptu stream. But tonight is going to be fun, guys. We're going to be talking focused primarily on Scream 7. Yes, I know it's all up in the air, and that's what makes this extra fun because literally anything and everything's on the table. I can't think of much of any theories right now other than dealing with the Carpenter sisters, maybe. Outside of that, anything else is kind of fair game and it's at least possible. So we're going to have fun. We're going to have a good time. We're going to talk Scream 7 theories, wants, possibilities. I mean, the whole 9 yards. Now, I say we because not only am I referring to you amazing people in the chat, all of my great community and my friends, but I've got someone joining the panel. Yes, we're going to talk together, and we get together as often as possible, but it's never often enough. But it's always fun, and we have made it work tonight with our schedules. And so, if you happened to be on the Lethal Collective stream earlier at 4:30 Central, you have seen us stream together once today. But now it's just going to be him and I for one full hour. Yes, a whole hour talking Scream 7 and also answering your questions. Please welcome my good friend, amazing content creator, a filmmaker, aspiring filmmaker, director, and a brother from the Lethal Collective. If you hadn't figured it out yet, I've got a red right hand. That's my last clue right here. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Killjoy Jake.
Yo, yo, yo. What's up, man? How's it going?
Bro, it's awesome, man. And thanks for being here, buddy. It's always fun for the two of us get together and have some one-on-one scream talk, horror talk. It doesn't any movie, it doesn't really matter. It's always fun.
Dude, absolutely, man. It's Killjoy Jake after dark over here. I'm in my robe to go to sleep. But but listen, I had to hop in and talk a little Scream theories with you. So I'm hyped, man. I'm excited.
Bro, I am too, man. I'm very excited. And before we begin, just want to say real quick hello to the chat. A real big blanket hello. We're at almost 30 people already. So won't be able to call everyone's name out by name because it will take a lot of our time. But I want you guys to know that I see you here. I'm scrolling literally right now through the chat who's left. And so I'm seeing everyone has left a comment. And I appreciate all of you being here tonight. And don't forget to begin submitting your theories and ideas for Scream 7. Now, I'll let you know right now ahead of time that we won't be able to get to everyone's comments, everyone's theories, just because it's a matter of time. And Jake and I have a lot to say too. So don't take it personal if we don't get to your specific comment. But I will tell you one thing. You have a way, if you really want to get it on the screen, make sure Jake and I look at it, talk about it. You can submit a super chat and it will come right to the front of the line. I get a notification and I will move you ahead of everyone else and we'll talk about your theory or idea or comment, whatever it might be. So you have the option for a super chat. And you know what else that does? And Jake, you know this. It really helps keep the lights on for the channel every month, man. It's a huge help whenever we get that nice super chat, that generous donation. So it's a win-win for everybody. You get your comment done, and we get to talk to you about it, and you help the channel. as I continue to want to grow this year and bring you amazing streams like this and more and special guests. So anyway, there it is, guys. Those are your options for tonight. So enjoy it. Let her rip. We're going to have a good time. And Jake, brother, let's start here, man, because you and I really haven't had a chance to do a lot of deep dive yet with all this stuff. Okay, so we get the news of Melissa being fired. Then the next day, Jenna announces she's leaving for scheduling purposes. And then on December 23rd, almost Christmas Day, literally right before Christmas Eve, we get the bombshell that I was worried might be coming. Christopher Landon, who's been a guest on this channel, has officially pulled out of the project. He's gone. So we are now at a position where James Vanderbilt and Guy Busick are rewriting the script, and we have no attached cast members as of right now. We have no director. So tell me, my friend, what just on that in the current status we're in, how do you feel about Scream 7 in general right
now? I mean, I'm not thinking too many good thoughts, Craven. I got some worries in my big old head here. I don't know. I mean, I was really excited about the film when it first got announced, and then all of this wave of poop came at us over the course of the last 3-4 months. And it just seems like a sinking ship. You know what I mean? Like, I just can't see much good coming from this where we're at. We're hearing rumors, which once again, these are rumors. None of this is confirmed. Take it with a grain of salt. That, you know, they're recycling the old script. They're reworking it for some kind of new, maybe reboot, maybe a Sydney focused story, whatever. These rarely turn out well when this happens with movies. It's basically you're taking your original idea, which can't happen anymore for whatever reason in this circumstance. We don't have Melissa Barrera. We don't have Jenna Ortega. We probably don't have the core four. Right. We're reworking these ideas into what's going to be a worse script because it's not your original thing. You're just going to recycle that, put it somewhere else, and hopefully it works. I just don't see that working out too well in Scream 7's favor. So I guess I'm very cynical, you know, when it comes to Scream 7. But with all this information, it's hard not to be, I guess, is my point.
Yeah, it's tough right now, man. We kind of have to hold on to hope, you know, like, I mean, anything like one thing I thought that was a little bit of hope for us was a couple of weeks ago when Neve Campbell was interviewed, and she came out herself. And thankfully, this wasn't a rumor. This is a quote from a Hollywood Reporter article where Neve says, when they asked her, "Are you open to return to Scream 7?" And she says, "Yes, I'm open to come back under the right circumstances." And then she went on to say how this movie is so important to her and to Courtney and to David, and how important is to Kevin and Wes. It was for Wes. She said it would be a shame to see it burn. That's the actual description she gave. And so that, Jake, was the first positive thing, because I was like at the point where I'm like, I don't think Nev's even going to come back. It's been no comment at all, but she is officially on record now saying, "I'm open to coming back." And of course, in that article, if you remember, I'm sure you remember, right after she says the right circumstances, she references how she was not paid as she should have been for Scream 6. And had she been a man that had carried this franchise for 25 years, she would have been. So I'm like, okay, I'm connecting dots. So right circumstances immediately follows with money. So let me just tell you, man, this guy right here, the culprit, Gary Barber. Oh my gosh, look at this. This is the guy that's messed everything up. And Jake, he's the one that didn't pay Neve last time. He's the one that fired Melissa. And all I got to say is he needs to get the armored truck, back it up to Neve's house, get her signed, Jake, because here's my opinion, buddy. My opinion is, And I do see, guys, a couple of super chats have come in. Wonderful. Hang tight. After I finish this thought, I will get to those super chats. Thank you, guys. But Jake, here's what's been my thought since this has all gone down, is that for me, I think the way you save the movie and make it still a profitable, positively talked about, let's say, project, is if you have Nev Campbell back as the focus of the film. I'm talking about going old school. This is like a Scream 1 through 4 type movie where she is the focus. You bring back Gail, and then you have, hopefully, you bring back Patrick Dempsey to get him as Kincaid. So you can kind of see where I'm going. I'm going like all in on the legacy. Bring in Kirby. Bring everybody back that we know and love. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, and Jake, I know you're on the train once again, my friend, because you do it, Jake. It's time. They've got to freaking do it. They have left us breadcrumbs in 5 and 6, and there are clues there. I've made videos. I've highlighted them. The time is now, to me, Jake, that they got to cash in. All chips in legacy. And I think if they do this, it gives them the best chance for 7 to be saved and us to be talking about, wow, that felt like a vintage Scream film if it's written well. And that's a nerve-wracking statement when you're talking about James and Guy, because I'm nervous about that. But what do you think about that? Can you give me your opinion real quick on my thoughts on that overview before I go to the super chats?
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely one of the routes they can go down. I think my big thing is Scream 5 set up a story with Sydney, with her family. You know what I mean? And that's something I feel like we didn't have before 5 came out. So that to me is like, that's the next story right there. If you don't have Melissa Barrera, if you don't have the core 4, that's the story to tell. I feel like that's the easiest place to go. But once again, like you said, you got to back up the money truck to Nev Campbell's house. There's just no getting around that at this point, unless, Spyglass wants to publicly apologize to Melissa Barrera, which seems like that's something they probably won't do. So
yeah, I don't get that feeling either.
I don't get that vibe from Spyglass. So I don't get that vibe from this guy either. Yeah, no. I think that's probably that's probably the most likely route. But I will say, in terms of like legacy characters being the focal point again, I'm curious what your thoughts are on the new Nightmare talk that's been going around. I see it everywhere again now. I feel like maybe like a year ago, that was like the talk of the town. It was like, what if they did like a new Nightmare style Scream sequel? What are your thoughts on that though? Because they can bring back Matthew, and it's like there's no argument. You know what I mean? There's no argument about if he's alive or dead. Matthew Lillard is in fact alive.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Well, Jamie Kennedy. I mean,
yeah, and Jamie Kennedy, Dewey, everyone from the original.
Bro, you could get Scott Foley, who's help me out.
Roman.
My gosh, I'm mind blank. You could bring him back, dude. If they played their cards right, they could get Liev Schreiber for a small cameo part.
Yeah. Yeah, he's in the first one, dude. For a scene, but he's in the first one.
He is in the first one. That's right. So yeah, dude. Well, here's the thing, man. I have to admit, I am intrigued by the idea. Right, the new Nightmare approach. It would be a meta homage to Wes, for sure, for New Nightmare. And it does open up a coolness factor of all these actors you could see again, and that in and of itself is pretty darn cool. But I don't know if I really want that. I can see the fun. I can see how it could be fun, but I still prefer, Jake, the story, the characters, the universe characters. But there is something to be said. And hey, what's up, Marcus? I shot him 6 times. That's right. You could bring back Parker Posey, exactly, who was Julie from Scream 3, and even Drew Barrymore. Yeah, I mean, who would not want to see all these cameos from all these cast members? That's cool. But I don't know, Jake. And obviously they're getting killed by a real life killer, like, and I just think I want to keep it as a typical, I hate to say typical, but as a fictional versus the reality based, what that would kind of be like. You know what I mean? What do you think, though, man? Are you a fan of that, or what would you like to see?
It's not my first option for what, like, honestly, I'm kind of with you at this point, since like the core 4 is out, you know what I mean? I don't know what we can possibly, I don't know how that's possibly going to be an option moving forward. I would love for them to come back and do one more movie. That would be great, but I just feel like that option's pretty dead at this point. So like my first option is tell a story with Sydney and her family. We even had someone in my stream today suggest, like, what if we told a story about what was going on with Sydney and her family during the events of Scream 6 at like the cabin or whatever the fuck, like to me, that's actually kind of interesting. I'd be into something like that, but a Sydney focused story. Hell yeah. We got her. Sydney's a mom now. She's got to defend her family. Yeah. There's a whole new story to tell with that. I'm into it. But with the new Nightmare approach, I think what could be fun about it is you could have like different people be the opening kill, different people be your killers, focus on different people throughout the majority of the runtime. It would be fun, but like you said, it's just, I love that the Scream franchise is this long-running story that's been going for such a long time, and I kind of want to see that continued. I don't want to have to pivot if we don't have to, I guess is the point.
I agree. That's a great way to put it, and as much as fun as it is to kind of like let your brain go there and think about it, I'm with you. Let's not pivot. Let's just write a great mystery. How about a great whodunit again, like we had in the first 4 movies, where you really don't know who it is. You
5
really
fooled me, man. I don't know. Amber fooled me. I was completely, that shocked me.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's one of my favorite reveals, honestly. I really love Amber. Yeah.
I thought you were kidding me. Oh, okay. Well, but dude, let's be honest though. The trailer revealed Richie.
I knew Richie before. When Jack Quaid got cast, I knew it was going to be Richie.
My nephew, I don't know if I told you this story. My nephew, right? He's an adult nephew. If people think, when you say nephew, people always think kid. No, he's like 30. But we went to see Scream 5 when it opened weekend.
Yeah.
And you know what? We were going into the theater. We hadn't even gotten set down or anything. And my nephew's like, well, Jack Quaid's the killer. And he's not even a fan of horror.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, there's no way they hire Jack Quaid and he's not the killer. So he figured that out without even seeing the trailer. But when it showed Amber on fire in that trailer burning, I said, dude, it could be Ghostface could have set her on fire. But I said the odds to me are much more likely she's getting burned because she's a Ghostface. That's why I was not surprised for Amber, unfortunately. That was the reason. If they had not shown that scene, I think I may have been more surprised.
I was fooled because they also give you that shot. I can't remember. I don't think it was the trailer, but some piece of marketing for 5 was with the Ghostface with the flamethrower, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Like, wait, Ghostface has a different mask. He's got a flamethrower. What's going on? And then it ends up just being, it's just part of the fake movie. So they fooled me in the marketing, man. I'm gonna be honest. I was really thinking that was like the same scene or something, and she runs inside on fire. But
no, that's good.
I didn't see Amber coming
for you though. That's good. You want to be surprised. I mean, that's awesome. I mean,
but let me ask you this, Craven. Like, what's more important to you, a good reveal or a good motive?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, they're both very important to me. I mean, not to be a cop out, but they are very important. I think, if you have a great reveal, but the motive is just like, really, that's disappointing and it detracts from it. So if you're asking me if I had to choose between a great reveal or a great motive, maybe not so great reveal, but the motive is really interesting and original. Dude, it shouldn't be this hard.
It's tough. No, it's tough, man. It's a tough question.
And here's the reason for me, because I am a murder mystery whodunit freak. That's my jam over any other thing else. So there's almost a part of me that says, you know what, I'll criticize a weak motive. I can deal with the weak motive if this reveal is stretched out to the end and I'm on pins and needles because I don't know who it is to the last second, it's hard to beat that, Jake. I don't know. So I'm going to say the needles 60% reveal versus and 40% motive. That's where I'm going to, just because I like the reveal is a big deal to me if it can fool me. But I think tough. What do you think?
Well, it's going to be tough to, I think with Scream 7, you know what I mean? We're talking about the seventh film in this franchise. It's going to be hard to pull the wool over our eyes again. But I do think after the last one, just like, listen, I liked Scream 6 and I still am just like, the killer reveals sucked, man. Like, I love that movie, but the killer reveals were just like, what? Like, of course it's him. Like, what? Exactly. Come on, man. My thing about, I really like the motive in 6, but I think for 7, I'm kind of with you. I think I kind of want something where it's like a little more like a Jill, a little more like a Stu, you know, where it's just like, oh, whoa, no way, you know, I can't believe it was them. That would be cool, just to get something different from the previous film. I don't want this franchise to start falling into a rhythm where it's like, okay, we know exactly what to expect every time. I think if you're when you're making a new Scream film, you got to find a way to surprise people. It doesn't have to be the same thing every single time, and it shouldn't be.
Shouldn't be. Exactly. I mean, you're right. It shouldn't be. The Jill analogy is perfect because my head exploded in that theater when she pulled the mask off. I never, ever once thought about her. And that was beautiful. It was wonderful. And that's I'm with you. That's what I want that. And I want that again. You know, for me, I haven't had that since 4. I didn't have it for me in 5 or 6. So you got it in 5. God bless you. That's wonderful. At least you got it in one of the 2. I didn't get it in either. And so I really want that too, buddy. I do. Hey, real quick, guys, let's get to a couple super chats that have come through. This is great conversation, by the way. Jake, I'm having a ball. I'm already having such a blast, dude.
Good, man.
You, my man. I hope you're having a good time.
Hell yeah.
Dude, it's
the way
great.
to do it.
I hope the chat's having a great time as well. As we're pushing over 30 now, let's keep it up. Let's keep it moving. Super Tenor with a $2 super chat says, Craven and Killjoy Jake rule. All right, buddy. Yeah, let's go. Thank you, Super Tenor.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. We appreciate that. And you know what? Let's play a super chat clip for you. Let's see, Jake. What's something you haven't seen? I've got a few clips here that I've loaded up for this month. I don't think you've seen yet. Jake, let me ask you something, man. When you see a poor reveal, doesn't it make you angry? Like, do you leave the theater like, man, I'm just frustrated?
It depends on the movie, but most times, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then, you know what? This is the perfect clip because this clip reminds us that if we do see a movie or if we're in a situation where we're about to get behind the wheel and we're angry and frustrated, we need to be really, really careful because we don't want to end up like this lady.
Bad attitudes create distracted drivers. It's as simple as that.
If you kids don't shut up right now, I'm going to close all the windows and turn up the heater.
Don't push me too far, Barbara. Don't worry, I won't. Parents.
Listen, I get paid to drive this bus, not babysit everybody's kids.
My life doesn't turn around your life, and it's time you learned that.
Look, I got personal problems of my own.
You don't know what problems are.
Well, if they can't wait, neither can I.
If you can't wait, neither can I.
Oh, Jake, no, don't do it.
Oh, my God.
Oh, no.
You know, like, I aspire to be able to act that well one day.
Oh, me too, brother. Would you? Do you have visions of directing such an amazing public service announcement as that?
I could never do something that good. No.
Oh gosh, super Tenor. Thank you, my friend. Really appreciate the support. And speaking of support, Ginger Ninja, what is up, my man? With $5 Australian. How about that? Thank you, Ginger. It's very kind. It says set Scream 7 in Australia. Ooh, That way, it's not just Ghostface you have to worry about. It's everything.
The huntsman spiders, the sharks, make it real interesting.
The kangaroos. That's hilarious, Ginger. I was not expecting that final line there. That got me. Jake, what would you think about having Scream 7 international? Like Sydney and Mark and the kids, or maybe they don't take the kids. They leave the kids with family. Sydney and Mark go on vacation to Australia. I mean,
dude, I loved the New York setting in Scream 6. I would love to get out somewhere else. We've had 3 movies set in Woodsboro, and I think we're kind of past that at this point. I think Woodsboro is a great backdrop. It's just we've just played it out. We've done enough movies there, I think. So I would love to see just something even crazier that this Scream franchise has never touched. We're hearing people talk about like a winter setting, a tropical setting. Yep. I'm here for it, man. I'm here for whatever kind of crazy thing. It doesn't come off as gimmicky because, like in Scream 6, at least it was natural. It was like our characters are at college, they're in the big city now. Cool. If they can find that with Scream 7, like finding a way to get our characters there, I'm there for it. I'm all about it.
Yeah, man. And of course, I was, and you've heard me on our streams together like this that we've done over the last year or so, with talking about Scream 6 or 7.
Yeah.
I've wanted that Switzerland snowed in at the ski resort. One location, you have no internet, no cell phone. You're stuck. You're literally stuck on this property. And that just that gets all my Agatha Christie spidey senses going because, she was the master writer of single location, locked in, mysteries. So, but I have to tell you, and it's kind of, it maybe sound weird to say this, but I still would love to see it. But I have to admit, when the movie It's a Wonderful Knife, which, I've had a chance to get to know a lot of people involved in that movie now. Like, I'm really blessed and thankful that I'm on a basis with these folks where we can email each other, the director or the production designer, a couple actors. It's really neat. I'm not saying that to reflect on me. The reason I bring that up, though, is because that movie almost satisfied the quench I had to see a snow slasher. You know what I'm saying? It's like when the angel killer shows up in that amazing costume. I'm telling you, it's my favorite costume since Ghostface, Jake.
Wow, really?
Yes,
that's high praise, man.
It is, and I can't believe I said that's how much I love the angel costume. Solid white robe. It's kind of like the Wes's first concept was that solid white. It was like, oh, this is what it kind of would have been like. But to see so many great kills and It's a Wonderful Knife with the blood on the snow and on the costume,
the white robe,
the white robe, it satisfied me. It's like, I'm like, you know what? I'm good. Like, I don't even need to see a Scream at winter time. Isn't that interesting? Like, I don't know why that is, but I guess I was wanting to see it so bad. Like I kind of did now.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So, but I would love it if they did it. Don't get me wrong. It'd be still really cool. But it would be neat, Jake, to get out of the country, something really new. Really new. I mean, New York was new. I'll give them that. But, something that just is completely undone before, just original, totally original. Australia. I mean, good grief. I would never guess that,
I feel like they'd have to have like a kangaroo or something in there, though. Like I'm so serious about that.
I agree. A real kangaroo, maybe, dude, a $120 in the pouch.
It was the kangaroo the whole time?
The whole time, dude. He got away with it.
Look, if you want a good twist, I mean, it's sitting right in front of you. I don't know what to tell you. Someone get Ginger Ninja on the phone with Spyglass right now.
Ginger Ninja, you're the man, brother. I'm telling you. Could you imagine like Thanksgiving, which is almost my most favorite horror movie of 2023. It's just barely edged out by Saw 10, just
Nice.
barely.
Yeah.
And I love Thanksgiving. I am so hooked on that movie. It is like, it's wonderfully done. And I'm just thinking to myself, remember how they had John Carver had his lair where, remember he had the articles, he had the computer. Remember that? How he had his own lair, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if in 7, Ghostface has a lair? Stu Mocker. But whoever it is has a lair like that.
Yeah.
And they have a pet kangaroo. And as he gets ready in costume, all you see is the robe. You see him fully in costume. He reaches down to say goodbye to his little friend, or his big friend maybe. And he reaches in the pouch of the kangaroo and pulls out the buck 120. Yep. There it is, baby. And I mean, I'm just saying, man. That's pretty cheesy. I know.
Thanks for holding it for me.
Yes, exactly. Puts on the voice changer. Thank you, Joey.
I mean, we're writing it. We're writing it, man. It's got to happen at this point.
Why not, dude? Seriously. I mean, like I said earlier, literally anything is plausible right now. It pretty much is. Oh my gosh. Jinja Ninja, thank you for the super chat. Really do appreciate the support, my friend. And let's play a clip for you. Now, this is not a kangaroo, but it's something. It's some kind of a pet. Maybe, Jake, this kind of a pet could be the one concealing the buck 120. Let's take a look and see what you think.
Soothing sounds of nature. That's nice. I don't know about you, but I love nature. Yeah. Wow, look at that. It looks like a sparkling stream. A lagoon, perhaps? Now just allow its gentle flow. Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to be the next Ghostface, but I am going to have nightmares tonight because of that.
It's a little scary, brother. Let me just tell you. A little creepy. But hey, you just never know what's going to happen. You never know what's going to pop up on your screen, be it in the theater or here. If you submit a super chat, you just never know. Hey, real quick, we got an anniversary. Oliver with 14 months as a channel member. Incredible, Oliver. Thank you so much for your support, man. Your faithful support every month. Says, what if there was one super mastermind that hasn't revealed themselves as Ghostface? So Jake would be almost like, well, no, because I was about to say like Debbie Salt, but we do have Debbie Salt in the costume killing Randy for her own confession. I got a little knife happy.
Yeah.
So if she hadn't had that scene, we could have said that happened in 2 with her. How would you feel about that, man? If we had a mastermind that never actually donned the costume?
I don't know. I mean, it's tough. I think something. I know you're going to disagree with this, but I hope that Scream. I hope that Scream doesn't overcomplicate itself. I think that's such a big. That's a big factor in why I think 6's reveals don't work. You know what I mean? They tried to do too many like flashy things with its characters. Like they did there's a fake out death. You know what I mean? There's they try to make one character obvious where the other two might not have been, but also like still, I don't know. For me, I think if they just don't play it too flashy and they just give us a solid whodunit murder mystery of just like, it was someone amidst the group the entire time that you just wouldn't expect. And that's not easy to do. It's hard to do without some kind of gimmick or some kind of flashy element, whatever. But if you write your red herrings good and you keep the attention off of said character, you're able to give a crazy reveal if it makes sense at the end. And we were talking about motive versus reveal and how important that is too. To me, that's like my biggest, or like if I could write something down on a paper, roll it up, put it into a bottle, toss it into the sea, and somehow my wish would come true. It would be just to have a solid reveal in Scream 7 that keeps it simple. But that's just my thoughts on it. Maybe if they were actually building a whole trilogy where it was kind of like one sub story within this big old nasty story, like how they probably were going to with 7 before all this BS happened. Well, then maybe I'd be down for something like that. But now, we're starting over again, Craven. I'm tired. I'm a Scream fan. Just give me a good movie at this point, like that's where I'm at.
I mean, I understand. I mean, there can get to a point where you kind of feel like you run through the ringer so much where it's just like, just make a good movie. Yeah. Just, just please.
It's been a tough 3 months, man.
It has. No, you're right. It totally has. And hey, we got another super chat that's come through. Guys, remember, your super chats move to the front of the line before everybody else. All right. So don't forget that. And my good buddy Marcus, I shot him 6 times. And Marcus, buddy, just to let you know, if you're able to check your Instagram right now, I sent something to you a minute ago. Check that out if you can. But $5 super chat. Thank you, Marcus. That's so generous of you, my friend, to help the channel out. All right, Jake. He says, thoughts on Scream 7 taking this Saw X approach? Set the next film in between. Oh, I just got goosebumps. In between 3 and 4. These attacks and murders are what led Sid to write Out of Darkness. Okay, now, Jake, I'm going to let you go first as my guest, but I just want to say one thing first. The goosebumps hit me because I just imagined Dewey back. And it just got me. So, Jake, now, how do you feel about this? It's a great question because Saw 10 totally 100% brilliantly pulled it off as a movie in between 1 and 2. It was excellent. What are your thoughts on this for a Scream film?
So my thoughts with the new Saw movies is I feel like they're all leading up to something that may or may not lead us to this reinvention of the story we know thus far, which I think is what's really cool about Saw X. They brought back like John Kramer, which is something that we've all wanted to see for the longest time, alive and not in flashbacks, which was great. It's been a long time since we've been able to do something like that. It's always just been flashbacks or him with the backwards hat doing this or that. I think I just need a reason, because I feel like Out of Darkness is written about the first 3 movies already. What can we add to that? What can we add to that to throw some salt and pepper onto Screams 4, 5, and 6 that may not already be there? I think that's the question that I would need answered. In order to make this film, like you're 3.5 essentially, right?
Right.
It wouldn't be that hard of a movie to do either, because you could just say Ghostface murders happened back then. You don't have to clarify, where you're at in the timeline, really. You can just say it's like, it's 2006, it's 2005, whatever. What was Sidney Prescott up to during that time period? I don't think it's too far away either, where it's like, the people now are like too old or something. That's not like that far away. Like, I feel like you could still... It's not that crazy of an approach. But once again, prequels are so hard to do, because it's like sometimes they add nothing. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's like, why did they made this for no reason? And I wouldn't want that to happen with Scream. So I think my biggest thing is, like, if you can give me like something to throw in there that we didn't know previously, but adds to the stories of 4, 5, and 6, maybe connects them even better. I don't know. I'm so into that. I'm so down if you're able to find that. But that's going to be the first order of business before you even write the script.
Makes sense, man, because you do want the movie to add value. I hate to say that phrase, but it's true. You want to add value to the stories that exist, and you got to be careful not to disrupt the integrity of what's been done. And that's the hard part. That's the tricky part, which is why I was so scared and afraid for Saw 10 as much as I was excited, because I'm like, if you do one thing wrong, you can mess up the history of this thing. But they didn't.
And that's why people love Saw X. Yeah, and that's why people love Saw X, dude. That was a tricky movie. Yeah, you had to walk a certain line to make that thing work. And I think they just nailed it. Anything done even slightly different one way or the other, I think that would have been a flop. So I'm so glad they did that right. Sorry, but you're 100% correct. Like that, it's a very tough thing to do with prequels. So they would have to have that all figured out beforehand, I think.
Absolutely. You got to really flesh out that script, fine tooth comb, poke at it, make sure there's no holes in it, everything. But if you could do that and make that story work, it would be amazing to have the go back and quote time and give us back. We're back with Dewey. We're back with Gail, Sydney, right? And here's another thing, because Jake, you know my feelings on this, and I think I'll have to ask you. I'm trying to rack my brain. I think you're kind of open to this idea. I believe, may not be convinced, but I think you're maybe open. You know where I'm going. This could open up Angelina. This could be the Angelina story that we haven't seen. And you know what I mean? Like, she could be back. What do you think about that?
See, that totally works for me because it's set in between 3 and 4. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, if we're pitching Scream 7 that takes place, let's say in 2025, like, no. But but I can totally see that. Like, yeah, like, let's say it's a couple of years after Scream 3 or something, and it's like, let's wrap up some loose ends. There's your reason to do it. You know what I mean? Because it's like not everyone, sorry. Wes Craven, you know, back in the day wanted that to happen for Scream 3. Wanted there to be 2 killers, and the girl that played Sydney in Stab 3. It's like, oh. That would be that'd be so cool if she was a ghost face killer. So what if we wrap that up? The thing you'd have to work around though is that in Scream 6, Kirby specifically says that Roman was a single ghost face. So you'd have to you basically have to have Angelina kind of still get away with murder, but maybe, you know, some side characters or something from 3 come back and like they have to fight Angelina. That could be a fun movie, and just for whatever reason it doesn't get revealed to the cops. I mean, you could write that. It's not going to be an easy task, but there's ways you can work around that and make it all work.
Yeah, man, totally. And the other thing too is, like, you know, at this point in time, people, and I'm talking about in the universe, like Kirby, like in the movie, they probably could think that she died, but it's been a long time. It's 20, because that was what, 2000, right? So if I'm right, that's 20 something years ago.
Is that what it takes place in the movie? Like in the movie, is it the year 2000?
I don't know that they ever say.
I know. I was just going to say, I cannot remember that for the life of me.
Because I know the first one was 2 years after the first movie. The second one's 2 years later. And I don't know if they ever say how. I don't think they do. No.
Huh.
Now I can't recall. Guys in the chat, let me know. Leave a comment if you can remember a specific moment in that movie where it's ever talked about. I don't think it is.
Because I was just gonna say, I'm like, that's a huge factor too. In the assembly cut, Jamie Kennedy does reference Star Wars 1 though, so I think it would have to be like, well, I think it would, like, you know, it came out in 2000. Yeah, the prequel, the first prequel.
Oh well, there you go, man. That's, of course, you could still, honestly, that could still be, like, people talk about the prequel now, even. But to your point, you could make it back then if you wanted to.
Well, so that recording was from 1998, when like Randy in college, and that was like the, you know, the lead up to the prequel, because everyone was hyped for a new Star Wars film, and he was talking, I think, like in the assembly cut footage, he says something to the degree of like, I hope it doesn't suck, and a lot of people hated it upon its release, which I think is really funny. But so, like, it's got to be like the year 2000, right? We're totally overthinking this, but like with good measure.
Right. Well, I think so. And the technology, they didn't have the smartphone. There was no iPhones. There was no. So you could kind of backdate it a little bit based on, you know, the technology in place too, right? A little bit, but yeah, we are way over. We are going, but you know what? That's what we do though. That's why I'm telling you, man. Like I really believe that, and this is going to sound so disrespectful, but I don't really mean it to be, honestly. But people that, and I'm not saying any names because I don't know specifically. Well, I know some, but my point is this: some people that write these movies, and I'm not just talking about Scream, I'm talking about like in general, like write horror movies of a franchise, an established franchise. I thoroughly believe they don't put the thought, the amount of thought, like we're talking right now, just on this live stream, we are like pulling it, stretching it. We're like poking at it. We're trying to make this thing work in a plausible manner. And when you watch movies sometimes, dude, don't you get the feeling like this guy was paid to write this? And where's did he not do what we do as content creators? Because I don't think so. I think we care more sometimes about movies as far as continuity and script errors and sloppy writing than these professional writers making a ton of money.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a few movies, and I'm not gonna name anything directly.
Me either. Me either.
I've seen a few movies lately though where I'm just like I can't believe they released that in theaters. Like I've seen like movies that were made for like no money that have a better script than this, and it's just like they really gave like millions of dollars to this. And it's, I don't know. I really don't know how that happens. It gives me a lot of faith that I can make it in Hollywood though. I will.
Absolutely, dude.
I will say that like sometimes you just see something and you're just like, I can't even see how someone else would like that. Like I'm usually pretty good at like being able to step outside myself and say like, okay, that wasn't for me, but I totally get why someone else could love that. But then there's also just bad writing, So I don't know. I don't know. It's tough sometimes, man. It's tough.
It is.
Tough with movies.
And again, like I say, I know that, there's nothing easy about it. And I get that. And it's a lot of work, but I think, the time, the amount of hours, dude, that we theorize and we come up with scenarios over the course of a year on a Scream movie, just one movie. It's like, I don't know, if we got into a room, and we were, if it said, hey, Jake, studio says, hey, I'll pay you $500,000. Craven, I'll pay you $500,000. Come up here for 3 weeks, lock yourselves in a hotel suite, and you write the entire film in 3 weeks. I think we could do it. I think we could do it. I'm pretty confident we could do it.
We've talked about like just whodunits and horror movies just enough that I feel like we could definitely pump out something that I think at the very least people would enjoy. Yeah.
At least, exactly. I mean, they wouldn't look at it and be like, oh, this has got so many holes in it. Like, what are you doing? No. That's one thing I think I could guarantee. If you and I were to write a movie, of course, you already have written a movie. But if you were to write it or we were to write it together, I think we could promise one thing: there will not be any head scratching when it comes to plot points. At least it's going to make sense.
Yeah. I've been working on, I think I've been, I don't know if I told you anything about this, but I'm working on a little short film that I want to put out this year. And like, dude, I'm still like every day I look at the script and I'm like, I don't know. I'll just like literally a sentence. I'm just like, and I just kind of like fuck around with it a little bit just to make everything kind of just tighten up and all that. And I don't know. Sometimes you ever watch, going back to that conversation, you watch a movie and you're just like, that one line just sticks out a little bit. It's just a little weird. It doesn't feel like it would naturally come from that character. And it's like, I don't know. Like, I guess people don't have as much time, people don't have as much time to write like a full feature length script. Because, the demand in Hollywood's crazy. I mean, like, you got to, like, pump it out as fast as physically possible. We spend a year on a blockbuster where, like, in, Godzilla -1 that just came out, they spent, like, 4 years on that movie or something. Wow. Just busting ass, making it something, like, just really something special. And it shows, it's one, it was my favorite just movie of last year. It was so, like, I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. So, I don't know.
I've heard so much about that movie. I know it's subtitles only for English, but I've had multiple people tell me it's one of the best movies, period, that they've seen.
I'm like,
wow.
I like Godzilla. I wouldn't call myself a huge fan or anything like that, but dude, floored by that movie. I'm like, this is so tight. Wow. Everything about this is like perfectly written to a T. It's a 10 out of 10. I loved it.
Man, I don't typically like to watch movies that are English subtitles only, without dubbed. But if for this kind of movie, I'm seriously considering pulling the trigger, getting out of my comfort zone, or that's not really the right word, but just, making myself give it a shot, give it a chance, in other words. And because you're not, like I said, you're one of several people that have told me how amazing this movie is.
Oh no, it's such a great Like, it's such a good watch. And like, man, I know this. I trust me. I get it. For the longest time, I was like, I don't want to read. I don't want to read a movie when I'm watching it. But this
Yeah,
one is so
exactly.
worth it. This one's
Okay.
so worth it. And some movies are like, some movies are not. I'll be honest, but some movies are worth the extra step it takes to truly perceive them.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe I'll watch it and heck, maybe we'll do a watch party or something. I don't know if it's even out. Is it out to stream? Do you know?
Dude, they extended the theater. Like, I believe it's still in theaters all
Oh,
throughout this month
okay.
because like it's such a hit. People are loving it. But I'm
Gotcha.
sure it'll be out soon. So
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm sure. Well, whenever the time is right, I'll give it a shot. But Marcus, I like the idea. I think that you're onto something here. I'm going to say this: Saw 10 proved it can be done with good writing. It can happen. So that gave me a lot of hope for these ideas like this. That's a good idea. I love it. Because I want to see all my people back, mostly Dewey. But I mean, and Randy, you know what I mean? Like, of course, Randy's still dead then, but we get Dewey back at least, and I think Angelina, hopefully. And Jake, if it turns out that we get Angelina back in this movie and they go through with that idea, which is what Wes, like you said, that was Wes's intention, it may make us do a little funky dance like this fella, man, right here, breaking out in the theater.
I want those shorts, man.
Right?
Let's bring those back, man. Why don't
Oh,
why don't we still
God.
wear those, man? Come on. We
mean,
need short shorts.
Yeah, you need to have one of those on during a live stream, buddy, and just like stand up and like,
Oh, something to flop out if I stand up, but
whoa, wow. Oh,
but I'll wear them.
well, you know what Mel would say. Oh man. Woo. Hey, we got another anniversary. Hollywood guy, member for 9 months. Wow, that's incredible. Where does the time go? Is Scream back on, or are we just speculating because this is fun? Well, I think it's never been off. I think Scream. I mean, it's been on this whole time. I just think they're doing the smart thing. To be honest with you, Jake, they're just slowing down. They're staying quiet, Spyglass, and I really believe the smart thing for them to do is to get some distance between all this stuff that happened at the end of the year. Because Jake, as time goes on, people tend to forget, or the wound heals a little bit over time where it's not so raw and you're feeling it. And I think 6 months from now, if they come back and say Scream 7, we've got an announcement, I think it will be much better received than it would be like right now. Right? What do you think? Those are my thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, this doesn't go with everybody, but time does heal most wounds.
True.
So
True.
I think that's probably Spyglass's approach. I mean, I'm not going to be jumping up and down with joy if they're like Scream 7's happening and Melissa Barrera is not coming back. It's going to suck. I mean, that aspect to it is, but I mean, like, I'm still happy to have a new Scream film, you know what I mean? Like, I'm conflicted, I guess, right? Because like, I'm a huge fan of this franchise. I want more movies to happen, but I'm also just like, man, under these circumstances, it's tough. It's definitely a tough situation.
It is. It's tough. But I do believe time helps Spyglass in this scenario versus hurrying to get stuff out now. I think, but yeah, we'll ultimately we'll see what the game plan is. But I think what would be ideal would be we get to like June and they come out and say, we have a major announcement, press release to all the outlets. Neve Campbell has signed on to reprise her role of Sidney Prescott, and she will be the focal point of the film. That's all they got to say. If they drop that, dude, bro, you and I are live streaming right away. We're dropping updates. We're going crazy. I think it all starts with Sidney, with Neve Campbell. If they get her back, then you can look about getting a lot of other people too. But she's the first domino, I think, that has to fall. And then you go from there. It's incredible.
We need a focal point, you know. We don't have
Yeah.
that. We don't have a director. You know what I mean? Like
No.
we need something. We just need something to
Agreed.
like see and talk about and just be like, okay, this is what the movie's gonna be about. We don't have that, you know. We don't even have a
Nothing.
guy to point in the right
No.
direction to be like, oh, okay, do this, don't do that.
Yeah, man. And that's a good point. I mean, just having a director would be huge, right? I mean, I put a video out on 4 directors that I would like to see, one of those 4. And you know, one of them is Eli Roth because of what he's did with Thanksgiving. Because he wrote and directed that. I mean, he showed with Thanksgiving, he understands how to do a whodunit murder mystery slasher with great kills, a great villain. John Carver. I mean, man, I had Alex Armbruster on who played Carver. He was in the costume, and he's coming back. By the way, on just booked it today, February the 10th.
Oh,
And
that's cool.
February 10th, Saturday night, and we're watching Thanksgiving together. He's going to be on the panel. We're going to watch the movie, live watch party, guys. He's going to give commentary as we watch the movie. But the point of bringing it up is that movie delivered on cat and mouse, on mystery, on suspense and tension, on kills. Visually, it was great. I mean, I could go on and on about Thanksgiving. I really like that movie. But Eli Roth, I think after seeing Thanksgiving, Jake, I think he understands how to pull back on the gore when he needs to. And that was always a big question for me because the gore in Thanksgiving, I mean, there's some gore, don't get me wrong, but compared to a lot of his other work, he reeled it in and it wasn't over the top. Oh, there was one scene that's over the top, but I think it's on purpose. I mean, it's anyway, the sign, the sign.
Yeah.
Scene. But my point is, how would you feel? Do you think he could do a good job with the Scream movie? How would you feel about it, Eli Roth's Scream?
I mean, I'm all about that personally. Like, I love Eli Roth. He's like, he's a hero of mine personally. I just love a lot of his movies. I've always been, someone who leans a little more towards like the gorier, like nastier horror movies. But I'm with you in the fact that you can't just have a movie that's wall to wall gore and violence, because then it turns into like Rob Zombie's Halloween, and I just can't. I can't get behind that. You gotta break it up with some emotional character building or something. You have to, or I don't care about the people that you're slaughtering to death.
There you go. Yeah.
And Thanksgiving does that really well. I think Hostel does that really well too. Cabin Fever. Like I love his movies so much. I would be so down for an Eli Roth Scream like all day personally. He's got that dark sense of humor about his movies, his horror movies specifically, that I think would work and translate really well with Scream. It would be a different movie. Don't expect like a Wes Craven style flick. It'll be a lot darker than that, but it'll still be goofy, just like a lot of his flicks.
Yeah, I think so, man. That's got a lot of potential. And then there's other guys, like one of the guys that I thought would be a good choice is Carlos Oyeyo, who directed A Killer Book Club, the Netflix film. Which
okay.
Have you seen that or not? Oh man, that movie I've seen several times. It is very good. I've had a chance to have him here and talk to him about it, and we actually did a watch party. And Jake, you need to see it. You should totally check it out. It's a Netflix original. He's from Spain, and he made it in Spain. But Carlos he showed in that movie he could do a murder mystery slasher. It pays a lot of homage to Scream, but it doesn't. But it's its own movie though. It's his own movie as well.
Yeah.
And so I know there were some critics that didn't write a lot of good reviews, and I'm like, you know what? That's too bad because they're missing the point. The movie was an original movie. I mean, but there's nothing. I mean, how many great movies pay homage to other great films? And it doesn't, and it does that, but it does. It's such. Anyway, I won't go on about it. But Killer Book Club, put it on your list, Jake. Seriously, check it out, man. Great director. So there's some people that I think could do a good job with this film for sure.
So Craven, I do got to get moving because it is past my bedtime. But
Oh yeah, it sure is. We have
before I go though, like one last question about a director, your boy Tyler McIntyre. How do you feel about him doing Scream 7?
So he's another one that I was actually asked him whenever he came on for the It's a Wonderful Life watch party. He came on and I asked him in that watch party chat, I said, if you had the opportunity to direct Scream 7, would you do it? And point blank, he said no.
Whoa.
Said no.
No way, really?
He actually did. I said it live on my channel. He said he would. He said, first of all, I mean, I think he would be honored, like, to get the opportunity. But basically, the way, if I remember, I don't remember word for word what he said, so I won't try to do that. But basically, the feeling I got, I had to go back and watch the actual verbiage, but the feeling was more like with all that's going on there.
Oh, so it was situational, basically.
Completely insane.
Okay.
Because this was back in, like, let me think. This was early December. I mean, this is back when stuff was blowing up big time.
Yeah.
So he basically said something like, I would love to do a Scream movie, but if I got the call, given all the circumstances, I would have to say no. But I totally think Tyler, I know Tyler could do it, man. I have no doubt about it. And he was going to be one of my 4 people on my list of my video. I was going to have him actually as a 5th person. But when he said he would turn it down, I just went ahead and I just did 4. And I say in the video, hey, you know, I want to honorable mention Tyler McIntyre in the whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, he would have been great too, I think, at that.
His movie Tragedy Girls is like it's a good Scream movie is what it is. Like it's a Scream movie from the killer's perspective. Like that's literally what it is. And it's fantastic. Like I don't know. I love that movie to death. It's so good. I think he did such an excellent job with it. The cast is so good too. But Craven, I do got to get moving, man. But I will say thank you so much for having me on. It's always a blast talking Scream theories with you.
Jake, this is fun. I know Monday's a little hard for you because you stream basically the entire night. And so by the time we get this late, you're wiped out. But you know what? You did an amazing job. Thanks for saving some in the tank for the stream here. And get some good rest, my friend. You deserve it. You earned it, man.
Thanks, man. I ran the gauntlet today. I've been editing since like 10 in the morning. I'm feeling it today, man. I'm feeling it. So I'm going to get some sleep. But y'all have fun out in the chat. Craven, thanks for having me, man. And I'm going to go take a little nap.
Sounds great, brother. Talk to you soon. Thanks for being here, buddy.
Hell yeah. See you guys later.
All right. Good night, man. All right. Killjoy Jake. Yes. All right, guys. We're going to continue on here. And I will be having another guest that will be joining us soon to weigh in on the discussion. But, before I do that, got an anniversary to celebrate. The Drusif is hitting 2 months of being a channel member. Drew, thank you really so much, man, for your support for this channel each month for 2 consecutive months now, and I really appreciate that. It makes a difference. I promise you, your support makes a difference. As much love, Craven. Here's to another 2 months. Ditto, my friend. Central Time Zone Cravenites assemble. That's right. That's right, Drew. I forgot. You are a Central Time Zoner like myself. That's great. Thank you, Drew. I really do appreciate you, buddy. And also, speaking of appreciation, I also appreciate you guys when you submit your super chats. It so helps out the channel a lot. And Oliver is sending in a $5 super chat. Oliver, thank you so much, buddy. It says to shift to Saw for a moment. All right, let's do it. With 2 more movies rumored, correct? Do you think they're setting up a movie of Dr. Gordon versus Hoffman? Ooh, you know, that's a really good question. Hoffman, man, I'm telling you, I think for sure, I hate to say for sure, but I feel pretty confident that for the next movie for Saw 11, Dr. Hoffman, Hoffman rather, is going to be absolutely a key focus. I think we're going to see some stuff about Hoffman that we've never seen. It's going to be new information, which I'm very excited about. And could this be leading to the third film being versus Dr. Gordon? It certainly could. Yeah. I think that's a real possibility. And I think, when it comes to Dr. Gordon, I think, oh my gosh, help me out, chat. My brain, not Lee Winnell. Lee Winnell is the other guy. My brain just zonked on me. Help me out, guys. It's late. The actor who plays Dr. Gordon, for goodness sake, I know his name. I just went blank. But anyway, I think that he would definitely be on board to return as well. I do believe, and so I think that could be really interesting. I'm very curious to see, Oliver, what they do with this 11th film, because last I heard, Carrie Ellis. Thank you, Troy. That's it. Carrie Ellis, of course. From what I've heard, and I've got a knock at the door coming, so hang tight. Carrie Ellis. Yep. And so my understanding for this next Saw movie is that it's going to continue to have Tobin Bell in it. Now that's what I heard a little bit ago. But now I'm going to bring on my next guest right now, because he is a big Saw fan as well. And I really want to pick his brain on this question and get his theories. I know he's one thing about my next guest, man, when it comes to Scream and Saw and Halloween, I could go on and on. Honestly, he's always got a theory. He will always have a theory for you. You can go to him and say, tell me what you think about this. And he'll be like, you know what? Here's what I think about that. Or he'll say, you know what? I don't really have a theory about that, but here's one I do have. He's going to have a theory. So let's talk about, we're going to talk Saw here for Oliver in his super chat. But guys, please welcome one of my really great friends and supporters here on the channel for such a long time. He's got an amazing channel himself, over 1,000 subs. It's such an awesome accomplishment. I'm very proud of him. And he's just a special guy, to be honest with you. To me, in my heart, he's a very special guy. And I really appreciate him. And he's been such a source of support and encouragement for me personally and the channel as well. And I could go on and on, because I think a whole lot of this guy. So please welcome my bud, Marcus, otherwise known as Marcus. Get ready. It's the best I can do, buddy. I can't do it as good as you and Knight. But here I go. I shot him 6 times. All right, that's all I got. It's Marcus. What's up, dude?
What's up, buddy? How you doing tonight?
Man, I'm great. Great. I love the hoodie, by the way. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome.
And thank you for having me on tonight, man. I'm glad we can catch up. It's been a little bit.
It has, man. And I'm just thankful it worked out, man, that our schedules lined up here and you're available. And so thanks for being here. It's always a pleasure, man. And
absolutely.
So we'll go about another hour, guys. We'll go about another hour, and and then I'll probably call it a stream. But let's talk a little Saw. Oliver sent the super chat in, and he's asking about, what do we think about, could this 11th film be setting up Hoffman versus Gordon in the 12th film? So Marcus, I know you enjoy the Saw franchise. What are your thoughts based on Saw 10? And we know Hoffman is got his hands all in it. So
yeah,
what are your thoughts, buddy?
Well, initially, and I'm going off of what Oren Coles has said, and Oren Coles has been, the longtime producer of Saw, and from what I'm taking from what he is saying, and that doesn't mean we couldn't get a lot of Hoffman. I assume we will get a little bit more Hoffman than we did in Saw X. Mm-hmm. But from what he said that John and Amanda are still overseas.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
he
right.
said they're still overseas. Now, what I think is going to happen, because when Saw 11 got announced, they did the, Roman numeral poster and stuff. But the thing that really caught my attention, it says the game continues. Now, the reason why that caught my attention is, if you know John Kramer, he is really good at anticipating, the outcome of his games and his test subjects. In my opinion, I believe that he anticipated the outcome of Cecilia's game. And what I think is that in this next movie, because keep in mind, they said overseas. They didn't say in Mexico.
True.
And the reason why I think that is key is because Cecilia's father, Norway, apparently he's in hiding, and I'd like to think after watching this movie, spoiler alert, Saw X has been out a little bit, so I'm going to get a little spoily, but I'd like to think if her father is in quote unquote hiding, well, one, why is he in hiding? And two, he didn't know about her scam for 8 years. That, I think, there's a bit even broader story there to be told. And I think what's going to happen with Saw 11 is that we are going to continue this story. I think basically Cecilia's story / game is a 2-parter.
Okay.
And again, we could get more Hoffman. And you know how Saw does. We'll be in the middle of this segment, and then it switches over to this segment. They'll give us two stories.
Right.
They'll give us 2 stories at once and then tie everything together.
Yes.
And stuff. So I think we are going to get a little bit more Hoffman. Now for Saw 12,
yeah,
I would not mind seeing a Dr. Gordon versus Hoffman, because it's funny because me, Destin, and Flet were talking about it, I want to say last week sometime, and Hoffman's still alive in that bathroom. And even though Gordon did take the saw away from him, there's still the bathroom lid that Eric Matthews used. So,
man,
there's definitely some avenues that you can go with it. The only knack that I do have with the Dr. Gordon versus Hoffman thing is Cary Elves would have to want to do it.
He would. That's right.
Because he has had a long history of having some beef with the Saw franchise. I know a lot of fans were wondering if he was going to be in Saw X, and when they interviewed him and asked him about it, he said, I have no affiliation to that film whatsoever. I have no idea what they're doing, and good luck to them, but I'm doing my own thing. So, but then again, he said the same type of things before coming back in Saw 7. So I think if the right person is behind the chair, and if the right person is writing it, and if the money's right, I think Cary, and if it makes sense for the character to be involved, I think we could see him back. It's going to be interesting, man. There's plenty of avenues that they could explore for sure.
There are, yeah, and that's an interesting thought, because I remember hearing also about how Tobin Bell was going to be featured in 11 again, and that's interesting what you said about basically they're still overseas. I like the idea of the mission quote not being over,
right?
Like because we thought it was over the way it ended, but to open door number 3, and
right.
Or door number 2, I guess, and it continues. So interesting, but also I think what you said makes a lot of sense too. It would not be unheard of or uncommon to see a Hoffman doing stuff over here.
Yep.
That Jigsaw one, it's done, and then Tobin himself and Amanda,
right,
doing their own thing.
Well, see, I will throw this in there. I actually think in Saw 11, we're going to get a little bit more Amanda in terms of her descent into becoming a killer instead of the John Kramer method. Because in Saw X, in Saw X, we kind of got that a little bit. And I touched on this here in a video. She was somewhat defiant over John, And in Saw 3, John mentioned about the mistakes that Amanda has made.
That's
you
right.
know, the Eric Matthews mistakes, so on and so forth. And I said in Saw X, the first mistake that could have been Amanda's first mistake ever really making in this situation is Gabriella. Because had she would have let Gabriella go first, like John's plan wanted,
Right.
she would have been alive.
True. That is true. You're
So
right.
when I picked up on that, I'm like, that could have been mistake number one.
Yeah, man.
You know, and then slowly but surely in Saw 11, you start to see more of this. Her not going, you know, listening to what John has to say. Her going against, you know, John's wishes. Because we know in Saw 3, by that point, she was building her own traps for the test subjects to lose. Like, there was no way of winning.
Yeah, man. She basically turned into, like, I mean, it was almost like, what's a good example? All right, I'll give you one and see if this. We're gonna go back in time. Remember Karate Kid 3?
Oh man.
Yeah, we're gonna go way back now. When Daniel started to kind of rebel against Miyagi.
Yep.
Remember that? And that's why I hated that movie. I didn't hate it, but I didn't like it because of that fact, you know.
Right.
Because the majority of the film, they're like this.
Yes.
Because Miyagi's trying to teach him, and he's like, he thinks he's better than that now.
Right.
He doesn't need that training.
Yeah, his head is pumped up.
His head's pumped up. And that's what's going on with Amanda.
Yep.
And we're already seeing it in the 10. We're already seeing like how it's starting. And that's a good point, man. It could totally continue in this movie, showing her descend, if you will, down that path. Because, you know, she wanted to be, she thought, ultimately, she thinks she's better than the teacher.
Right.
And it's all said and done.
Right.
But
yeah. This is another thing that's interesting, especially with Oren Cole said about them still being overseas, is in Saw X in the post-credit scene, we know John goes back to the States at some points because of Henry Kessler, the old bathroom.
Oh, that's right.
So my thing is okay, if that's supposed to be the quote unquote, even though it's post-credit, that's the last thing we see in Saw X. So that leads me to believe maybe that's not the real ending. You know, maybe this whole Henry Kessler game takes place after Cecilia's game is completely over in Saw 11. If that's the direction they're going with.
Yeah.
Because why would John fly all the way back to the States?
That's true.
You know, just to go back. You know, like,
right.
And we don't know well, I would have to assume that once, you know, the game was over and the gas, you know, was done pouring into the room, those doors had to unlock. So I highly doubt he was just going to let, you know, Cecilia just roam free without keeping tabs on her. I think there's more to be told with this story. I think Cecilia's father, Finn Peterson, is going to be at play in Saw 11.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, I do. You know,
man.
I mean, why is he in hiding?
Yeah, that's a good point. He's, and you know, Amanda and Kramer, dude, they're gonna find you. You can't hide from them, man.
Right.
And you know who else can't hide is Destination Station. Destin, what is up, dude? Good to see you, bro.
What's up, Destin?
All right. And real quick, Huddy Films says they have to be up early, but it was nice joining the chat. Good night, everyone. Thank you, Huddy Films. Good to see you here tonight. Glad you were able to hang out with us for quite some time. Much appreciated. And Huddy Films actually had a question. You know, if hopefully they're still here. Shifting back to Scream for just a second, and then we'll get back to Oliver's last comment. What are your thoughts on Sydney coming together with Emma to battle Ghostface in a Scream movie or TV series connection? I mean, well, I don't know. I guess we'd have to be doing some retcon stuff here, right? Like Emma wasn't the killer?
No,
Perhaps?
Emma was the main character. Piper was the killer, her sister.
Oh, wait a second. We're talking about Emma Duvall.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought it was
You're
like
doing
Emma
Emma
Roberts.
Roberts.
I was like, well, man, we're going to have to retcon some stuff for this to work.
Right.
Okay, I got you. I got you, Huddy Films. That would be awesome to cross over with the movies. That would be fantastic, I think. How fun would that be, Marcus, to get them together?
I said it on Scream Talk with Destin. If we don't get Nev back for Scream 7,
Yeah.
why not take it to Lakewood and finish that story in a motion picture film? You know, I mean, I get it. You know, it would be something different. It would be not what a lot of fans would want, but it still ties into the Scream franchise. Wes Craven was an executive producer on the TV.
That's right. And he gave creative input on season 1 while he was alive.
Right. So now the funny thing is that there was rumors about season 3, the original plan for season 3 was that we were going to finish the Brandon James story, but that it was going to be revealed that this is a TV show. It was basically all fake. And basically, we were going to basically link up with Sidney Prescott. Like basically what we were just watching was just like literally a TV show set in the Scream movie universe.
Okay.
And that once we get that revealed, like, so from what I read, it was supposed to end or whatever, like with Kieran dying or whatever and stuff like that. And then it says cut, and then it reveals it's a TV show, whatever.
Right.
And
it wasn't even
Kieran,
real.
Then the actor who plays Kieran goes to his dressing room where the real Ghostface shows up and takes him out. And then we get Sydney, we get Dewey, we get all them, and so on and so forth. That was actually allegedly the plan for season 3. So, I mean, the idea has been floated out there before. I think it would, man, it would need a really good writer.
Yes, it would, my friend.
To put that together.
Yeah.
And this is not a shot at Guy Busick or James Vanderbilt, but I just take a look at, some of the writing faux pas that we talked about in Scream 5 and Scream 6. And I'm not 100% confident that they could wedge that together and make it make sense.
I agree, man.
But hey, I would love. I'm dying for them to go back to Lakewood. I want that story finished. Like I would love to see Willa Fitzgerald, John Carner, and Bex Taylor Klaus. Get their story finished. I would love that. Absolutely love it.
It would be nice, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be really cool to get that closure that we didn't have? You know what? Speaking of the opposite of closure, when doors open, Marcus, sometimes shows end and there's closure, but other times doors knock and there's people there and doors open. And we've got to knock at the door to help Marcus and I finish out tonight's last half hour or so of the stream before we call it a night. Ladies and gentlemen, another great friend of the channel, a great friend of mine. We've streamed together countless times on his channel, my channel, Marcus's channel. I mean, a lot of stuff. He's a great friend, great guy, real encouraging, and someone that I have a lot of respect for. So guys, please welcome to the channel, along with Marcus here, my buddy, Destin from Destination Station. What is up, dude?
What's up, fellas? What's going on? My nose was itching, and I thought y'all were talking about me. And I said, let me get on YouTube. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I see what's going on here.
You just felt it, man. You had the I love it.
Yeah. How's y'all's night going?
It's going great, man. We're talking Saw. We're talking Scream. We're
awesome.
Can't beat it. Yeah.
Getting caught up, man. Love it.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, real quick, Oliver, thank you for your super chat, my friend. Let me get you a clip right now for your generous super chat. And let's see here, guys. Let's you know what? Sometimes when you hear good news, like a new Saw movie's coming, and Kramer and Amanda are focused still, and that's exciting. It makes you want to fly. Like if you could just turn into a butterfly and just fly away, just like this fella does right here. I love at the end, the guy goes, yeah!
What in the hell?
See, let me tell you something, guys. This is the quality entertainment you can only get at Craven Something Scary. And this is the only place you're going to get it. You're not going to find that anywhere else.
It's true.
It's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
You never know. When you send a super chat in, you do not know what's going to happen. It could be butterfly men. It could be tight, short dancing. It could be school bus driving with anger issues. I mean, you just don't know. The only way to know is
dancing.
to send a super chat, and you got it.
I might be in a
spicy mustard,
just dancing it up in the background.
That's right. Destin over there doing his thing
while eating a hot dog.
And falling off his chair because he's passing out.
Hey, we don't talk about stuff that happened 2 years ago. I fell asleep.
I know, bro.
Can you believe we're already creeping up on 2 years of that live stream?
I know. Seriously. Wow. That's nuts, man. It really is. You know what else is amazing is look at Mayanne. Mayanne's in the house, and she is a member for 10 consecutive months. Almost a year, Mayanne. Wow. Says, hello, Cravenites. That's right. That deserves a hand clap. I agree.
Yeah.
Hope everyone is doing great. 2 more months and I'll get my gold skull. That's right, man. You are 2 months away from the coveted gold skull. You have to be a member for 12 months or longer. And man, thank you for your support. You're so kind and generous and a wonderful part of the community. And I'm so thankful you're here. And you know what, guys? Speaking real quick of gold skulls, it's time to put the spotlight on all of my gold skull Cravenites because the number grows every month. And here we go, guys. Please pay attention to the screen because these individuals have supported this channel for over 1 year every single month. And that is right. Thank you, everyone. Much appreciated. And Mayanne, you are almost on that list. You are creeping closer. All right. All right. So Destin, since you just joined us here on the panel, we've been talking tonight, about Scream 7 and kind of putting up theories and desires and wants and things like that. So let's jump back to Scream for just a little bit. And Oliver says, yeehaw, I love seeing my name. Absolutely. Oliver, you better believe it. You deserve it, my friend. Appreciate you. So Destin, let's get your thoughts with all that's going on with Scream 7 up in the air. Literally, there's no director, no cast attached. All we know is that we've got James Vanderbilt, James Vanderbilt and Guy Busick are back together to write a new script. That's really all we know right now. And of course, we know who's not coming back right now with Melissa and Jenna and sadly, Christopher Landon, which still breaks my heart because he would think he would have made an amazing movie. But we have to move on, sadly. So tell me, buddy, what are your desires for 7 right now? What do you want to see personally?
Man, right now is just crazy. But I think the one thing that I want to see at this point is I want to see a safe Scream movie. I want them to take a safe approach. And I think the safest approach they could do to get on everybody's side is to double down on fan service. Whether it's predictable, whether it's something that some fans don't want. I feel like more fans want, yes. More fans want than others. If you want to get back in the good graces of your fans, of your majority of your fans, and you want to shock audiences of people that wouldn't see that coming,
yeah,
this is what you do. This is what you do right now. We all saw in the last Spider-Man movie we all knew. We even saw footage behind the scenes of Tobey Maguire. We saw of what's the other Spider-Man's name? I can't think of his name.
Garfield.
Andrew Garfield.
Yeah.
We saw that, and he was just like, "No, I'm not in the movie." And it's like, what's all this leaked footage and all this? Even then, the movie was a hit, and people were cheering. That's what you need. You need people cheering for this movie right now. And if you do something, I said it with the last one. Scream 6 was the make or break it because I thought Nev wasn't in it, which she wasn't. But this is really where this is sitting at right now, is the make it or break it of this franchise at this moment. Whether this is a hit or a miss, we may not see Scream for a while if this is a miss. So we need a hit. And you need a for sure hit. You need it to knock it out the park. Whether some people aren't the biggest fans of it, but I feel like the majority of the fans are. Take a safe road and double down on some fan service. Throw everybody that you can in this mix.
Yep. Absolutely.
That's what I want to see.
I basically am kind of with you on this because I said a little earlier, I want a full-blown, sold-out legacy film. I want Sidney Prescott as the focal point, like 1 through 4. I want to see Patrick Dempsey as Kincaid back. I want to see Gale. I want to see Kirby back. That's 4. I want to see Stu back. That's 5. Heck, man, if you do this, as Marcus, I think, suggested, if we did a movie like Saw 10 where Scream 7 takes place between 3 and 4, you could bring back Dewey, or you could even do a direct sequel to 4, which I've talked about. Either way.
I was just about to say maybe.
Yeah. That works too. You get Dewey back, and you could just, like you say, Destin, call it fan service, whatever you want. But it is a straight up appeal to the legacy fans and saying, come back home to your first love with this franchise. They're all your heroes, your favorites. They're all back. Just make a kick tail movie. Great story. You know what I mean? Great whodunit. Actually make us guess who it is until the final reveal.
Yeah.
Don't airmail who everybody is in the first quarter of the movie. Let us actually give us a Scream 4 ending where never saw it coming. Jill, what? No way. Right? That's what I want. Give me that Scream 1 feel again, where we get, obviously you're never going to get that 2 killer shock. That's a one-time thing, but you get a shock of who the 2 killers are.
Right.
And that's what I'm talking about.
I still want, even if the ace in their back pocket is Stu.
Yep.
I still want another 1 or 2 other killer reveal.
Yes.
And that's the cherry on top.
That's right.
That's just an extra umph here. Oh, okay, well, these are the 2 people, and it's kind of okay, well, typical Scream movie, and then boom, Stu walks out, and it's oh, and everybody's jaw drops, and it's just
there you go
from there.
That's right. Stu's controlling it, but you've got 2 people in the friend group that we don't suspect. And yeah, man, absolutely. That's what I'm talking about. Nola says, bring back the legacy and you take all my money. Exactly. Yes. Stu. Mayanne says, bring back the heavy hitters. Absolutely. Could you guys imagine walking in there and sitting down and seeing Dewey and Gale together again, and Sidney and Kincaid together, and throw in Kirby for extra measure? But could you imagine how that would feel as legacy fans we are from the original? Gosh, Meryl.
I love the idea. I would just hope that it's written correctly.
Yeah, that's true. You're right.
And it's not a wasted scene if we ever get them all in one scene together, and it's kind of
right.
It's you could have written this whole situation better, not just at a coffee shop or something, you could do something special here.
Yeah.
Right.
I
just want it to feel organic. I don't want it to feel, I want fan service, but I don't want it to be shoehorned in fan service to where
Correct.
there's nothing to pay off with it. That's kind of how I felt with Kirby a little bit in 6.
Mhm.
Kirby didn't really feel like Kirby. I want Kirby back, but I want her to feel like Kirby, and I want her to do more. That's what I want her to do.
Yeah.
I know this guy wants old Charlie Walker back. The shoulder me.
Oh, the heart.
No.
This is not how you practiced it.
I just had to. We were talking about it the other night. I just had to mess with him.
Hey
I
man.
mean, yeah, of course. I mean, but that's the thing. I was talking about it because I just dropped a video yesterday or whatever, because I found some other little Easter eggs, in my opinion, you know, that I feel like Jason Carvey in so many ways kind of is a reference to Charlie Walker or whatnot. But with all the theories that we've had, everything that we have built in Scream 5 and Scream 6, because of these knuckleheads, and I'm saying it nicely, because of these knuckleheads, now all that might not even matter. It might not, because now we might have to go. Yep, we have to go in a different direction.
Oh, I almost just punched my screen.
The one man who has single-handedly imploded Scream 7.
Yep.
There he is.
Yeah,
Gary Barber.
He doesn't even look like a Scream fan.
No. I mean, I don't know for sure, but just the way he's handling things kind of tells you. Not paying Nev Campbell. I mean, that right there tells me this guy doesn't care about this.
Well, not even that. Just his remarks about it.
Mm-hmm.
His cockiness.
Cockiness, yeah.
I don't need a star.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't need to start, buddy. Do you not know, like, one of the many things, and I would like to think this is one of the top things the Scream franchise was built on, was star power. You know, with Drew Barrymore in the opening scene in Scream 1996, every fan in their right mind thought that she was going to be the final girl.
Yeah.
Because she's the star.
Absolutely.
And when she got killed in the opening scene, that set an entirely new precedent, not only for horror movies, but it introduced a way to introduce new stars like Nev Campbell, like Matthew Lillard, like Skeet Ulrich, like Jamie Kennedy. Courtney Cox was kind of already there, but that even just helped boost her resume. You know, so like, man.
Well, look at all the stars, Marcus, that wanted to join after Scream 1. I mean, I watched Scream 2 like a couple of days ago. I watched it again. I'm like, this is insane how many people. Rebecca Gayheart, Portia, Josh Hartnett, Michelle McGill.
Yeah.
Wait, Josh Hartnett was in there?
No, Josh, not Josh Hartnett.
Joshua Jackson.
Joshua Jackson, excuse me. Jerry O'Connell.
Timothy Oliphant.
Timothy
Oliphant. Timothy Oliphant. I mean, come on. It is like a who's who of star power from 1998 when you watch Scream 2.
You even had David Arquette's dad in there.
Jada Pinkett.
That's right. Omar Epps, Jada Pinkett.
Yep, Omar Epps. Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, well, you know who, and you know who's in Scream 3. A little bit of trivia for you. David Arquette's brother.
Oh.
Do you remember when Gail is giving the lecture at the beginning of 3?
Yeah, that's him standing up.
That's right.
He stands up and it's like, does that mean you should do this even if you have to eat dog or whatever? That's his brother, one of his brothers.
And he was like, is it worth it?
Just because that's what you did.
That's right. Yeah. That's exactly right.
That was a good line.
It was a good line. And basically, what did she say? She said, metaphorically speaking, yes. Yeah. Exactly.
Well, tell me, Miss Weathers, was it worth it?
Was it worth it? We're out of time, the lady. Out of time. We want to thank our guest for joining us. What's up, Zoe Crawford? Popping up in the house. What's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. It's been a while. Glad you're here. Yeah, this is a business, but you know what? There's a way to do good business. You know, I get what you're saying, and I do. But what we're seeing here, to me, guys, is just, it's not even business. It's poor decision making. It's poor. It's just poor decision making. That's just the best way I can say it.
I mean, he's pretty much just saying that he doesn't really need anybody. He can make a good Scream movie without anybody.
Yeah.
He's
I
don't
fired
need
Melissa. He's like, I don't need her.
He's saying it publicly. I don't need you. I will do it myself.
Right.
And that's just not a humble way. That's not a humble approach to keep going here. Like, I don't think Wes Craven or even Kevin Williamson would have ever said something like that.
No.
Hell, the Weinsteins, I don't even know if they ever said something like that, but it sounds like some shit they would say.
It does.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cuss. But but it sounds like something the Weinsteins would say.
Right. They were probably thinking it for sure.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing with the Weinsteins, at least publicly facing, they just got their hands in the creative part, and that's what drove me bonkers. It wasn't like salaries, it wasn't like this stuff. Theirs was like, oh, I can do it better. I don't want that idea, Wes. No, take that out. I don't want Angelina revealed as the killer. No, we don't.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's my best impression of Bob Weinstein. We don't want that. I'm like, who are you? You're a studio executive. You've never made a film in your life. You've never written a script in your life. You have a master of the art at your hands, at your disposal. This is not a first-year director out of film school. This is Wes Craven, for gosh sakes. And you're trying to tell him his decision-making is not right with the script.
Right.
Are you serious? Oh, it gets me mad. You know what? I got to stop because I'll get frustrated. And I'll never forget what Lynn McCree said when she saw Wes on set with Scream 3, and he looked upset, and she said he was always even keel tempered. And she's like, she's like, is everything okay, Wes? He said, because he had just got off the phone. He said, oh, it's just going to be a Weinstein day. It's going to be a Miramax day. And he just got the phone with Bob Weinstein with more meddling. But you know what? I mean, like I say, despite all that, he made 4 amazing movies. Wonderful movies. Comfort movies.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Even with the meddling.
You can always make the argument that Scream, out of all the iconic horror franchises, is arguably the most consistent one.
Oh, I agree.
In terms of not putting out a particularly bad movie.
That's right.
Yeah, and that's what I'm worried about with this next one. I want it to stay consistent. I don't want it, like, as much as I would love to do like another timeline or a requel or in between or something. I don't know if we're ready for it yet.
Can the writers do it? You mean you talking about?
Yeah. Is it gonna feel fresh? Is it gonna feel right, or is it too soon? Because everyone's coming off the high of 6.
Yeah,
we're just gonna put out that flame. We're just gonna put that out, and everyone's gonna be jarred. Jarred with something going on in the past. They're like, oh, I wasn't expecting this. I feel like they still need to find closure with whatever is going on now. Following Sydney, but we need to, you could call it closure at the end of this one, but no, I think we all need some sort of extra closure and move back to Sydney. It just needs to transition back to Sydney, but we need closure of that Carpenter and situation and the story. Like, tell us what's going on. If we just go back right now, I think it's too jarring. I don't think it's going to sit well. I think maybe after this one.
Yeah.
I think maybe after 7, maybe.
But here's the thing, Justin. How will they do closure? I mean, because if they can't have Jenna or Sam, then you're going to have to it's got to be an off-screen thing. Like, they're off, they're often studying abroad and overseas, or what are you going to, how are you going to say it where it's satisfying? Do they die in a car wreck like Jamie Lee Curtis in Halloween 4?
No, I don't think that's not satisfying.
Good.
No. I could see, with what happened in 5 and everything that happened with Dewey, with Gail being in the hospital, I could see Sydney coming to Gail's side in the hospital at this point. And maybe at that point we pick up Chad and Mindy's there, and maybe we hear from Chad and Mindy's character that Sam and Tara have left. They said that they didn't tell us where they're going. They just left. We don't.
They ghosted us. They just said
they ghosted us.
Don't look for us.
Right, we're done, and that's it. And we got these four to go, and maybe Kirby too. Maybe we don't need a big explanation because it's something that we could pick back up in the future and go from there. Whatever happens,
Right. Well,
maybe we don't need a big explanation.
Well, that's an interesting point, and something I want to bring up real quick. Just last week, Jasmine Savoy Brown, who plays Mindy, was interviewed, and she says in the interview, when asked about whether she'd return for the next installment, which lost Melissa Barrera and Jenna and Christopher Landon, Brown shared, "No one has reached out to her yet. I haven't gotten a call. So I think if you want to ask Spyglass what they're doing, you can," she said. "I haven't gotten a call." And so that's interesting, fellas, because that was last week. And she's like, and the language she uses is almost kind of like, if you read into it, I know you got to be careful reading into written text and stuff, but it's almost like she's a little resentful. Like almost like me telling you guys to be like, well, I think if you want to ask Spyglass what they're doing, you can, but I haven't gotten a call. It's like, you know what I'm saying? So the studio, according to her right there, there's been no call from Gary Barber or his representatives. And so
because they're sitting around the table being like, well, we don't want to write a full-blown script, a full-blown new script right now, and we don't have anything signed on the table. Where are we going with this before we start writing?
How do you do that? Because we were last told in the article, or in a article. Real quick, I want to say good night to Oliver. Good night, Tager. Oliver, thank you so much.
Good night, Oliver.
Yeah, Oliver.
Appreciate all your support, buddy, and your super chat. Thank you for being here. We're going to go for about another 15, 20 minutes. But the last we heard, James Vanderbilt and Guy Busick have been tasked with going back to write a new script, overhauling the script. But you're bringing up a good point, Destin. How do you overhaul a script when you don't have any cast members signed? What are you going to do? Are you going to write for characters you hope they can bring back, and then what do you do? That's a great point.
Truth.
Right.
It makes no sense. It makes no sense at all.
Right. That's the thing. It's like which direction are we going into, and who is going to be our lead, and all that kind of stuff. So I feel like it is crunch time, and there's a lot of questions with, honestly, I feel like they're just waiting to cut that deal with Nev. I think eventually, honestly,
I hope so.
I think Nev's back. I think eventually it's going to happen. They're just playing tug of war right now. Yeah. And her even like, being out there in the open and saying, if you want to make the right choice, they can, but blah, 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 blah. That tells you right there, there's something going on. It's just not closure yet. And, with Melissa, we don't know if that's a rumor. We need to know for sure if that's going to be a thing. But if that is what Nev Campbell is trying to do, that's very noble of her. That's her being selfless. That's her being, I'm not just thinking about me. I'm thinking about women in this business. I'm thinking about her. This isn't about me and a paycheck for me. This is about women, and this is about Melissa. This is about me. This is about all women in this business should be getting paid and dealt a right deal. And
but Melissa's deal wasn't about payment.
Right.
It wasn't, but maybe she could be trying. It's a rumor. We need more. Yeah. We need more info here.
I'm skeptical. I haven't even done a video on that rumor. And I hope I'm wrong. Like, I hope they really are meeting.
Yeah.
But I'm leery. I don't know.
But wouldn't she use that? Wouldn't she use that to her benefit? It's like, oh, the two leads are out. I can be selfish, and I could be more about like, all right, well, meet me at this demand, and only think about herself. And I just don't see that with Nev Campbell. She seems so genuine.
Yeah, but is it her? I mean, and Marcus, I want to get. Hang on, don't lose your thought. I'm going to get your comment. But I hear you, and I like the idea of that. But I also question, like, for myself. Well, hold on a minute. If I'm Nev Campbell, I'm trying to work a deal to get signed to this. They didn't pay me last time, and so is her priority really going to be to go be an advocate voice for Melissa Barrera? Maybe, but I'm just asking the question. Like, I would be thinking that let me get my contract signed, and then I'm in the movie. Now I can have more leverage, and I can say, you know what? We really should make this right with Melissa. But right now, she's not even signed, she has, you could argue she has leverage that if they really want her back. But I'm saying, is Nev going to risk her opportunity to come back as a lead character to fight a fight for Melissa's behalf? And we don't even know Melissa's mindset. What if Melissa's done? What if she says, you know, heck with this guy, I'm not going to go work for him again.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's why we don't even know what Melissa's thinking. She could be like, I have literally washed my hands of this. I am not going back to work with this guy after what he did to me. You know, heck with him. I'm going to go collect my nice paycheck for Universal for this Abigail movie, and I'm going to move on.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm so skeptical when these rumors come out like this, because I'm like, guys, we don't know enough to really. That's why I haven't talked about it. Haven't done a video, nothing on it, or even a live stream, because I just don't, like you said, we need more information. We don't have enough, I think. So anyway, that's what I question. Those are the points I question about it. That's all. But Marcus, go ahead, man. I know you wanted to weigh in too.
Well, I just feel like, being that Nev isn't signed, if those rumors were true, the only thing that I can think about it wouldn't be for pay that she's trying to get Melissa back. It would be more or less because of the story and not messing up the timeline, not messing up basically what has been built already through 6 films. I don't think it would be more or less pay, because in my opinion, Nev's going to get paid more than Melissa anyway. That's just my take on that. So I don't think it was just pay. I think it has more to do with her wanting to finish out this story, because I think that she sees there's a story to be finished.
Yep.
With Sidney Prescott and Samantha Carpenter at the same time. And I think that she wants to make that happen. Now, because of what Gary Barber has done, I personally do not think Melissa is going to come back. I don't think, even if there was a second meeting, let's just say there was. I don't know if you guys heard about this over the weekend. Melissa actually spoke about her firing from Stream 7. She spoke out about it. And she said that she's actually grateful for what had happened, in Stream 7, and that this was a big awakening for her, and stuff like that. And then this is another thing, and this is what, for me, I said, okay, one way or another, whether Melissa wants to come back or not, the studio's not going to let it happen, because she showed up at the Sundance, the Sundance Movie Festival with a pro-Palestinian protester crowd and protested her. And I can see the studio looking at that and being like, oh, well, yeah, exactly. Because that's what it was all about to begin with.
It was. That's right.
So,
yep. He basically said that her statements do not align with the beliefs of Spyglass Media Group.
Right.
And if those are still publicly being displayed, no matter what anyone's opinion are, I'm not here to debate any of that.
Right.
But my point is, if that's still being done, and if that was truly the truth from Gary Barber, then you're right, Marcus. That hasn't changed.
No. I don't see no resolve with that situation, and it's a shame, because it's, to me, it's her own. This is her outside of the movie. You know what I mean? This has nothing to do with the movie itself,
right?
And it's a shame, man. And
Ginger,
I feel like this. I feel like what I'm hoping to happen is this: they make a good enough Scream 7 movie to where it's profitable enough to where Spyglass just says, okay, you know what? We made what we wanted to make out of 3 films. Here, we'll sell the rights.
Right.
But what I hope
Blumhouse, baby, Blumhouse.
What I hope in between that is that you don't mess up the timeline. Because my hope is this, and I said this about a month ago. I could see Scream 7, even if it's a lot of people won't agree with this, what have you. You could do a Scream 7 that is a Scream 6.5 to a degree, based off what they left on the table in Scream 6 with Sidney's absence, because Bailey's whole motive was to get back at everybody who killed Richie,
including Sidney.
And honestly,
and the rough draft script, it didn't get put in the film, but Bailey acknowledges this. He says, after killing Samantha and Tara, we got to fly to Seattle and kill Sidney. So, and then there's another thing that was left out of there. Obviously, Richie's mother. She's still out there.
Is she though? Well, I guess technically
it's not canon. Yeah, it was not canon.
Right.
Just like Sidney's dad dying. It's not canon.
That's right. They didn't kill her off. So that possibility is out there. And I said it before. This is one thing, and you can see it as a mistake that they did in Scream 6. But Scream 6 kind of opened the door for there to be other killers from, because all the costumes were supposed to be there at the Ghostface Shrine. Every costume worn by each killer. Well, there's a problem with that. You revealed 6 masks throughout the entire movie. You revealed Richie's, you revealed Roman's, you revealed Charlie and Jill's. That's a tie because DNA tied back to both of them or whatnot. You revealed Billy, you revealed Stu, you revealed Mrs. Loomis. You left out Mickey and you left out Amber's. But there's also one more. That leaves one more. Who's that? Who's that unnamed Ghostface killer? You know what I mean?
I think Chucky.
You talking about Charlie? I mean,
I'm just messing with you, man. I'm
about to say his DNA was found on the one mask, though.
Oh no! I'm just kidding, man.
But that's like when I look at what they did with that in Scream 6, I'm like, well, if you wanted to do something, that kind of continues the story to a degree, like maybe around the same time the New York events are happening, Sydney's being attacked as well. Like she thinks she's taking Mark and the kids to a safe place, but Ghostface, these killers are already a step ahead. They know what she's doing.
I like that, but I think they already have an out. If they really wanted to just write it, they have an out. They have Kirby. She's FBI. She could put Sam and Tara in a what do you call it? The
witness protection.
Witness protection, and you could have Nev. You could have Sydney and Mark show up to check on Gail. You got Kirby there. There could even be a phone call from the killer being like, "Where's Samantha?" or something, and then there's like this whole thing, like Kirby's like
you'll never find him.
You'll never find her. We put her in witness protection. Boom.
That's right. That's it.
All you gotta do. You can pick that up later on if you ever want to come back with that stuff.
Leave it.
I mean, yeah, you could leave it. You can leave it, but but it's done. It's kind of like what they did with Sydney with this one, where it's like she deserves her happy ending, but she's brought out of her happy ending because Gail got really injured, and Mark accompanied her this time. And Chad and Mindy could still be there. Maybe one of them could be the open and kill.
Or both of them.
or both of man, that would be wouldn't that not be
Ooh.
crazy?
Yeah, it would.
That would be nuts if they're both the killer. I mean, both killed. Sorry.
All that's left's Martha. Poor Martha, Randy's sister. That's it.
Mm.
Man.
How would
But
you guys
good.
feel about
Me,
a Kirby Reed Scream movie?
what?
I don't know about that.
Not yet.
man.
Not yet.
Not
Not yet.
yet. Okay.
You gotta build it a little bit more for me to be like, okay, I think we could get on board with that. Like because she's still questionable. She's still we don't
Very
know if she's true or she's not. We like I said, she didn't have enough to do. She didn't feel like Kirby. You're gonna have to really build her up.
That was my whole problem with the idea of a Kirby centric movie, is because what we saw of her in 6, it wasn't enough for me to say she's leading material. Like she could carry a movie. I don't feel that way right now. Because they didn't give her enough. So they need to increase her activity like 50% from 6 at least. Like let us actually see her act.
I feel like they could. I feel like they could if they could focus on the legacy. We come back. We come back to form, and I think me and Marcus was talking about it the other night. What was that line that I said that like if Gail gets a phone call again, that it was like that what was that line from Scream 2 that was like you're always reporting the news, but now you're about to be the news.
You're about to become now you're gonna be the news or something.
Wouldn't that be sick if Ghostface says something like
what Joel said?
If Joel was back in the movie, so he would be a red herring at that point.
I came to
Ghostface said that.
I don't want to be the news.
Right. But if Ghostface turned that around, it's like you're always reporting the news, but now you're about to be the news.
Yeah.
And then you'll be like, cool. Oh, that's sick. I don't know. That's just wishful thinking.
Yeah. DJ says, how about this? Gail could be a distant cousin of Stu. Whoa. To her mom's side. Okay. And has connections to Stu. Knows his whereabouts to continue her writing books. Well, I'm just going to jump in first and say, I like creative thinking, DJ. I do. I think that's good that you're thinking out of the box, right? Because, we hear a lot of, there's so many kind of cookie cutter ideas that we see that are brought forth in Hollywood and different things. So I appreciate the thought. I do. The only thing about it, though, is Gail Weathers is so savvy. She's a news person. She's right. Like she's all about the investigating and the facts. I think if that was the case, she would have known that from Scream 1. And that would have come out way before now. I think if they were to do that now, guys, it would be like, I would feel like we are retconning so much stuff that when I go back to watch Scream 2 or 1 or 3 or 4, or heck, actually even 5, but especially the early ones, I'd be like, wait a second. She knows that's her cousin. Like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying, guys?
It would almost make you think, like, why didn't she help him in the first one?
Or some may say maybe she did. And that's how she got her book written. But yeah, I don't know.
I thought about some of this, DJ. And I thought about this before when Scream 5 was about to be released. This was before then. And I thought about the idea of Dewey always knowing that Stu was still alive.
Yeah.
But hid it so Sydney could live in peace. Now, they could still piggyback off of that with Dewey dead now. And Gail discovers Stu knew this whole time, but she didn't even know it. Like maybe she comes across some files or something. And it's like... and then there's like this whole dialogue of like, oh, he knew that, Stu was still alive, like something subtle. We don't need to double down on it. We don't need a lot of explanation. We just need to know like, okay, that would just like show Dewey's character again. Like he cared about everybody involved. That's why he hid the truth.
True.
So
Ginger said,
But the cousin thing,
go ahead.
I'm not a fan of.
Yeah, I think there. Yeah, I agree. I think, like I say, I like the idea of thinking out of the box, but I just think there may be some better ways we can do that. Ginger says, now Ginger's talking about, I think back when we were talking about you're going to be the news, I think comment. Wouldn't that be revisiting Scream 2? I mean, it's definitely tipping the hat, but it wouldn't be like following Scream 2. It would just be, honestly, I mean, let's think about this. And I'm not necessarily saying this per se, but, I think we're all three of us are Stu truthers. I'm the conductor of the train. You guys have been on the train for a long time with me. And if Stu was somehow involved in some way with all the sequels, when some people theorize maybe he had a hand in all of these movies to some degree, then maybe he knows that line because he said it. Who knows? So I don't know, Ginger. I hear what you're saying, and you definitely got to be careful. But I think there's something with this being such a meta franchise anyway. I think a callback like that could work.
Yeah, and I think it would work better. And I guess maybe I should have mentioned this is like if Joel was back in the picture. If Joel was back in the group and this happened to Gail, then that would raise our attention being like, oh wait, that was
wait a second.
Maybe it might be Joel.
True. Just be a great red herring or more, maybe not. Maybe actually a killer. Yeah. What's up, Devon? Says a ghost face focused film from the killer's POV. That's kind of taking Jake's approach with Red Right Hand just a little bit. If you guys seen his fan film, by the way, earlier, guys, Killjoy Jake. If you hadn't subscribed to his channel, be sure you do and watch his fan film, Red Right Hand. And be sure you subscribe to my guest here, I Shot Him 6 Times, and Destination Station. Great friends of mine, great content creators. You don't want to miss what they're doing. Stuff's going on. Stuff's in the works for this year for both of them. I'm excited for what's going to happen for all of us this year in the community and the two of you especially. So be sure you guys all subscribe. If you have not done so yet, please do. Go to Destination Station and I Shot Him 6 Times. Boom. Subscribe, hit the bell icon. You don't want to miss it. Trust me on that. But what do you guys think about that? That would be a little different for us to see Scream with Ghostface's POV. Would you guys be a fan of that, or do you want to stick with the traditional kind of format we've seen?
I'd have to stick with traditional. I feel like if you did it from the killer's point of view, it would be taken away from the characters that we want to see grow and that we want to see, possibly be in other movies. You know what I mean? And continue the franchise going forward. So, I mean, if you're going to maybe if you're going to do it like point of view, POV style from like when they're making the phone call and then making the attack.
Right.
I could see that. Get a little different with it. Okay. I would only do it for like 1 or 2 scenes in the movie. I wouldn't do it the entire movie because then you also kind of take away from like everything that's like around when they're chasing and stuff like that. Certain little clues, little Easter eggs that we like to, nitpick and point out and stuff like that. So I feel like if you just did it from a killer's perspective and the point of view, it would take away from what we love the most about the Scream franchise, which is not only the chase scenes, but the characters. Scream has been heavily reliant on the characters, and that's what makes this franchise. That's what makes this franchise so consistent.
Well, let me ask y'all this. You've both seen Thanksgiving, right? The amazing Thanksgiving, which is by the way, I don't have my picture for it because I just booked it today. But guys, you guys need to make plans right now for February the 10th, Saturday night, 8 p.m. Central. Alex Armbruster, who played John Carver in the costume for Thanksgiving, is joining me again, and we're doing a live watch party of the movie. Yeah. And he's giving live commentary on the channel, guys. Man, you guys got to be here. in the chat for this. You got to watch it and listen to what Alex has to say. He is excited too. He emailed me earlier. He's like genuinely excited. So I am pumped. But the reason I bring up Thanksgiving is, number one, you guys need to all buy it. Don't be cheap. Pay out the money. Buy the 4K digital download. It's available right now on Vudu and Prime. All right. And I never asked you.
It's also on B-Flix.
Hey, man.
I'm kidding.
Listen to me calling you Jake. Destin.
I'm kidding.
Son. No, but seriously, the reason I
support it.
Yeah, man, let's support it because we want, that's the only way we're going to get more great movies like that. We got to support them. But here's the reason I bring up Thanksgiving. There is a lot of insight of the POV of John Carver. We see John in his lair, getting his stuff set up. We see him I'm not going to give away anything. I got to be careful here. We see him for the Thanksgiving dinner plans. Mm-hmm. We see a lot of what he's doing. You're right. What John is doing in his own little world.
Yeah.
But it worked. And I never felt like it took away from anything. Yeah. Because it was balanced. But we also got the other stuff where we're seeing him chase and run and capture. Right. So I thought Thanksgiving was a really neat balance of like giving us the inside look into him and his lair and his setup, but also giving us what we all want to see, which are those chases and those suspense building scenes, right?
Yeah.
What would you guys think about Scream 7 kind of taking a Thanksgiving style approach where we see Ghostface's lair, quote, we see more of that we've never really seen before, unless you watch the assembly cut of Scream 3 where you see Roman putting the sound
I have not
stuff
seen that yet. I have not seen it. I have not seen it yet. Bro. How do I get my hands on this?
All you do is type it in on YouTube. That's what I did.
Oh, maybe it's on YouTube. I haven't done that. I know because they pulled it off of Scream Trilogy. You got copyrighted. They yanked it down.
Oh.
I downloaded it in the first 5 minutes, so I've got it downloaded on my computer. Maybe we'll do a private watch party if you want to see it. I'd watch it with you guys.
I need to, man. I've heard this a few times. I'm like, what are y'all talking about?
Bro, you need to see it, man. Let me tell you. Yeah.
As soon as I saw that, I thought about that in modern time, especially with the Ghostface cult theory.
Yeah.
I imagine there being like 6-7 laptops set up.
Yes.
You see the Woodsboro Truther posted up on one computer. You see the Stab subreddit on the other.
Bingo.
You see this, you see that. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, man, they need to do that.
Yeah.
Like now, in terms of like POV, because I see where you're going with that, Steve.
Right.
In terms of that style POV, where we get an inside look on what the killer's doing to a degree.
Yeah.
If it's the Ghostface cult. Oh yeah, sign me up. I'm okay with that. Sign me up.
Yeah.
I want it.
Yeah, man. That'd be awesome. Yeah, Destin. There's one scene, man, that I don't want to spoil it per se, but I guess I kind of have already, where we actually see Roman's, we don't know what's Roman, but we see Roman's lair. And he's got his computers set up and he's actually burning little mini CD discs that goes inside of the voice changer with the people's voices recorded.
Oh,
you actually see how he did the voice changer, bro. And I'm like, whoa, like that would have been amazing to see in the movie.
Right.
All that we're talking about, like seeing stuff like this reminds me of what Wes Craven did with the Nightmare on Elm Street and showing that opening scene of what Freddy Krueger was doing in the boiler room and putting his glove together and seeing it from POV.
Yeah.
I love that idea. I love it, especially on like the ending one, like for the Mastermind one of it. Yeah, let's see it, and maybe see some callbacks to how he like connected, got the other ones to do it in the previous movies. I think that would be so much fun. Like I always said that Scream would benefit from a flashback, kind of like how Saw did. Like nothing huge, just subtle. Them setting up a murder or something, or calling somebody, or
Yeah.
or even like this POV shot, like something like that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. Like I'm seriously like wanting to do a private watch party right now for the assembly cut.
Man,
You know
I
what
have never
would've been
seen it,
cool?
and I
Serious.
You know what would have
Uh,
been cool at the end of Scream 6, especially if all this stuff for Scream 7 would have happened. And I don't know if you heard about this, Screaming, but
Okay.
at the end of Scream 2 or
Thank
whatnot,
you,
the
Ginger.
original plan was to reveal a ghost face staring up at Sydney from where the clock is ringing and stuff while she's walking as the camera pans away. That was
Right.
supposed to be the setup into the whole cult and all that and stuff
That's
like
right.
that. That would have been cool if all the stuff for Scream 7 would have never happened, if they would have planned to do that at the end of Scream 6, where you see Sam and Tara walking off, and then from a distance you just see another ghost face in a ghost face costume just watching them as they walk off, and then it just cuts.
Yeah, dude.
All I
Could
can
you
all I can
imagine
find
that?
all I can find is the assembly cut for the opening. That's it.
Yeah, buddy. I got the whole thing downloaded on my laptop. I'd have to send it to you.
Wow.
I have to. Well, you know what? We'll talk about that offline because I don't.
Okay.
I don't want to air all my business for the algorithm and YouTube and anybody else to listen to. I don't know. I deleted it. Actually, it's gone. It's been gone.
Yeah, yeah. He burned it like Roman did the what do you call it? The little voice changers.
That's right. The little DS, little CD
it's
discs. Oh my gosh. Yeah,
I'm
man.
gonna end up finding it. It's on YouTube. It's on there. I know because I saw it not too long ago.
I'm looking for it.
But they may have pulled, dude.
They might have.
They could have shut that stuff off quickly too.
That's
right?
true.
Yeah, the algorithm moves fast, especially because the studio, the copyright owners, they're all over that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Scream Trilogy, it was only literally up for like 2 or 3 hours.
Like, what do they want you to like buy? Like the
No, they don't want you to see it.
Why?
Period.
It's been out for so long. Why not? Come on, stop playing with it.
Dude, it's all about contracts and money.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, buddy.
Wait, so I'm assuming somebody leaked it then.
Oh,
yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think somebody linked it, and then I think Nick over at Scream Trilogy grabbed it, and he posted it on his Scream Trilogy website.
Right.
I just happened to see it when he posted it within 5 minutes. He just had posted it when I saw the notification or whatever. It's the only reason I got it. I was able to get it.
Man.
And it's gone. It's been gone for a long. I can say it was gone 2 hours later.
Wow.
Yeah, if that. So, and it's interesting because it's black and white. It's not color. It's all black and white. It's got the timer codes on the screen from the filming. It has partially scored. So there is some Beltrami score in the movie, not everywhere, but it's partially scored out. And it's interesting. It's like watching a black and white Scream. It's weird. It's like going old, like retro.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's cool.
It's really neat. There's enough differences that you notice, like a lot of differences, like the openings, a lot of like the conversation he has with the girlfriend. Not the girlfriend, but the girl caller.
Yes,
is a lot longer in the assembly cut than the theatrical.
Roman's dialogue with Sydney in his reveal is even different.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting, buddy. I'm telling you, man. I've trying to remember what is it. He's like, oh, I remember what it was. There's at the opening of 3 when Cotton's in the Suburban and he gets that phone call from the killer, but it's the woman, remember, flirting with him. And he's like, he's on the phone, remember, with somebody else. And he's like, she tells the girl, can you hang on a second? She's like, yeah, and then he goes, Bob, I'm sorry, I got to go. I can't talk right now. Like, oh, there's Bob Weinstein. West throwing Bob in there again. Just like he did in Scream 2. Remember when Gail gets a phone call before Randy grabs it? It's Bob calling her twice. Yeah. She's like, Bob, I got to call you back. And she hangs up.
Great.
And then the phone rings again, and she's like, Bob, I can't talk right now. I got to call you back. And she hangs up. And then the third ring is when Randy grabs it, and it's Ghostface. So look at Wes, man. You got to love Wes, man.
So Gail was supposed to get killed right there.
Yeah, she was getting the phone call. Yeah, I think Gail was the intended victim because Randy grabbed the phone from her and took over. And she wasn't calling Randy. Mrs. Loomis was calling Gail.
Yeah.
Little did Randy know.
And then Randy spoke poorly at Billy, and that's when she decided to get knife happy.
Yeah.
Get a little knife happy. Yeah, when he started talking about, repressed mama's boy, I'm like, oh, and then, man, that was it. When the door opened, it was like, that's it.
I think when he said rat looking, that's what really put her.
Rat looking repressed mama's boy. Dang, dude.
Oh, man. Jamie Kennedy's a classic. Gotta love him.
Yeah. He's great.
Yeah.
You want to be with the big boys? Dahmer?
Manson? Bundy?
OJ? It's so good. Oh, my gosh, guys. Well, man, guys, look, it's after midnight, 1 a.m. Eastern. I think it's a work and school night for everybody. I think this has been a great time. We've gone almost 2.5 hours total tonight. And I want to thank my guests again, Killjoy Jake earlier for the first hour that was able to join. And then Destin from Destination Station. Click that to subscribe. And click here to subscribe to I Shot Him 6 Times. Our good friend Marcus here. They are worthy of your sub and your attention. I promise you that you'll enjoy their content. And anything you guys want to share, Marcus? Anything cooking in the near future you want to share now? Or
actually, I will be going live here within the next half hour for my late night horror cast that I will be talking about some Scream 7. I'll be giving my review on A Wonderful Knife, The Exorcist Believer, as well as Thanksgiving. All of it will be spoilers. So if you guys have not watched any of those films, you might not want to watch.
Yeah.
But if you guys have, definitely join the conversation. It's going to be a fun time. I'll probably go for like 2 hours, probably go to like 3:30 in the morning, something like that. Ooh. But I am going to be having some more day streams coming up. There's just been some basically maintenance has been inside the apartment building, fixing things up and stuff like that. So once that gets taken care of, I'll be streaming. Basically, my goal is to stream Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays during the day and at night as well.
Cool. Nice.
Yes.
All right. Awesome, brother. Well, yeah, be sure you guys all hop over. If you want a late night tonight, hop over to Marcus's channel in about 30 minutes and be a part of it. I probably will be. Look, I'm an old man. Okay. All right. I'm not going to lie. I'm an old man here. I am the godfather of Woodsboro, as Destin says, and I got to get my beauty sleep. So I'm going to be gone. I'll be crashed by then, but I know it'll be a great stream, my friend.
Absolutely.
And I look forward to your review of It's a Wonderful Knife. That's a movie that I've grown quite a lot of affection for. And the people that made that movie, I have such respect for. And so I'll be curious about that. And Thanksgiving, I've already told you guys my thoughts on that. It was almost my #1 horror movie of the year. Saw 10 just edged it out, but it's like neck and neck like this right there. So it's like so close for me.
I only hope 2024 is going to be just as good.
Oh, me too, buddy. No, me too. Destin, how about you, man? What you got all kinds of stuff going on. You got movie roasts going. You got crazy stuff happening. What's coming up this week, man?
Man, I have so much stuff coming in the works right now. I'm still editing stuff. I was editing stuff before I got on the stream.
Nice.
So I recently just got a bunch of members. So we do special screenings for members only. Sometimes we move it over to public just to have a wider audience, but we watch what the members want to watch. Okay. They can join me here on the stream if they're comfortable with that, or they could just request stuff. Nice. We also do horror movie trivia. And another thing that I'm going to be starting either next week or the week after is table reads of some Scream Origins, the fan film that I've been working on, but only
yeah.
for members. It's only for
Yeah.
members.
Okay.
So that's what's in the works. And so I'm kind of got the same schedule as Marcus, like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We got members only Monday. We got Wednesday is our trending dose of horror, and Friday is Scream Talk, 10 p.m. Central. Saturday nights is film roast, so that's a lot of fun. This Saturday night's going to be a double feature of Tremors and Tremors 2.
Ooh, okay.
That's what we're doing this week. So it
Gotcha.
should be a lot of fun.
I would say that's
So,
gonna
yeah.
be fun. I'm gonna have to check it out.
It's been a while, man. It's been a while. If y'all want to come aboard and watch it with us. With it being a double feature, we are gonna have to start a little bit earlier at like 8 p.m.
Oh, okay. Darn, man.
We get them both in. Usually we only do one movie, but it was like we couldn't pick which one we really wanted to do. I was like, well, let's just do a double feature and we'll just start the stream earlier.
Gotcha.
So,
yeah, you know, Saturdays are my streaming night, so you know.
Oh yeah.
That kind of.
Unfortunately,
you can make the second one. You can come in on the second one.
True.
So unfortunately, I know I won't be able to make it because I work until like 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning Saturday night. So.
Yeah. No, I get it. But y'all know the door is always open. All you gotta do is
appreciate
say,
that, man.
Oh yeah, if I see you on still, I'm gonna shoot you a message, be like, "Yo, what's up?
Yeah.
How much longer you going on? I'll be hop on for 5 minutes. Let's go."
Yeah, the film roast is not even around my schedule; it's around the girls' schedule.
Right.
This is something that I was like, we do this all the time at home. Why not put this on screen? Let's make it a thing. So
that was a good idea.
It is. Yeah, it is cool, man.
Yeah,
wonderful.
Actually, y'all, I'm probably gonna have it up before I go to bed tonight. I am getting pretty tired, but you're gonna see the thumbnail, and I hope y'all get a kick out of it because my sister-in-law, we got a love-hate relationship. She was riding a mechanical bull years ago, and I've cut her out and placed her on top of a graboid on the Tremors movies, and that's like the thumbnail.
Oh my gosh, she's gonna love that.
I showed her. I got her approval. She thought it was funny, and she was like, "Okay." Right. I said, "Okay, with your approval, I'll post this."
That's funny.
So yeah, you'll see it soon. You'll see it by the morning.
I'll be watching for that when I get up in the morning, buddy. I will seriously be looking for that. That's great.
Right.
And for me, just real quick, just to let you guys know, this Saturday. Well, I've got a lot of stuff going on. Wednesday night is, every Wednesday night, and pretty much doing a movie watch party. Starts at 8 p.m. Central. We are watching the movie The Jester, which came out last Halloween, and it's going to be a fun watch party. I've seen it once, and so be sure you guys come check out the party with us. Let's watch the movie together. And then Saturday, this coming Saturday, I'm actually going to be interviewing one of the stars of The Jester. It's Lilia Symington, who played Emma, the lead protagonist of The Jester. She'll be joining me this Saturday, 8 p.m. Unfortunately, Destin, the same time your movie starts.
Oh,
dude, you could be over here watching the interview with Lilia live from The Jester. We're going to be doing an interview.
I've never seen it.
Well, Wednesday night, buddy. If you, I know you got, it may conflict, but 8 o'clock Central this Wednesday night, if you're available and would like to watch it with us, I have a panel invitation for you. So
thanks,
you
buddy.
can join.
Okay.
Yep, I'll give you a panel invitation this Wednesday to join me, the Night Watch Zone, Coriander, and JT from Sinister Artworks. You can join the panel. And Marcus, same for you. I don't know if you'll be working or not, but if you're busy, but both you guys, I will extend you guys an invitation. You're welcome to join the panel. We can watch it together. And then Saturday night, you can come back and watch the interview with Emma, the character Emma, Lilia Symington. She'll be joining me for 1 full hour to talk about the role, the movie, and her career in general. It's going to be a great time. So that's this Saturday night. And this Wednesday night. So don't forget, if you guys can make it.
I
But
do
on
work,
the
but
yeah,
I
you,
will be tuning in, and I will be in the chat because
okay,
the Jester's my jam.
nice.
It's-
Okay,
Is it
buddy.
good? Is it
it's
good?
in my opinion, it's
Mhm.
it's underratedly good. I like it.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
It's definitely got some original stuff going on.
Yep.
How does it compare to? And I don't even know if Craven has seen this.
Okay,
Dark Harvest.
not yet. Dark Harvest is on my short list, but I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, when you get ready, let me be a part of that. I want
Ooh.
to see what you
Well,
think.
I mean, I'm just
Okay.
gonna say it here. I'm gonna say it now. I mean, if Destin, I don't know what you're doing Thursday, Steven, I don't know what you're doing Thursday, but if you guys ain't doing anything on Thursday, I mean, I can put the stream together on my channel, and let's watch Dark Harvest.
It's good.
Ooh.
It's good stuff. Craven.
Ooh.
I'll put it
It-
this way.
It was one of those movies. It's like completely like, where did this movie come from?
Right.
Wow.
It's like
Okay.
what this movie is gold. Like it's
Oh, wow.
it's good. It's really good.
That sounds awesome to hear. I can hear that. That's
Yes.
you don't get that kind of feedback much on movies these days.
And it's like one of those movies, like everything makes sense by the end of it. You're kind of like, okay, everything's
Mhm.
entertaining, but you're like, why is this and why is that?
Mhm.
It wraps up beautifully by the end.
Oh,
Yep.
okay. I'll tell you what, Marcus, I'll let you know. Normally we stream on the Movie Bros. Man's asking when's the Movie Bros coming back. Excuse me. We normally stream at 10 Central, 11 your time at night. I don't know what time you would be able to stream if that's how late or early it could be.
For Thursday?
Yeah, on Thursday, like I could do earlier, like I could do like 8 o'clock Central, 9 your time, or 7:30.
That's what I was thinking of because I'm off Thursday.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, then that might work. If we could do it earlier, then I could probably join that. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait. Yeah, David Slade did his thing with Dark Harvest.
Yeah, me and Marcus, we did a live stream. We did a watch party on my channel, I think,
Yeah.
didn't we?
It was like
a couple weeks ago.
2, 3 in the morning.
Oh,
It was one of those random. Remember those random nights we used to have, Craven,
do.
where we'd watch
Yes.
X or something. It was just like one of those, and it was like
I sure do. Yep.
you couldn't keep your eyes off the screen. It was just so good. And I was like,
Wow.
oh, I can't wait to watch it again.
That's awesome. Wow. Well, now you make me want to go watch it like tomorrow or tonight before I go to bed now. But I'll wait.
I'll say this. It's like, if you ever seen The Outsiders?
Yeah.
It's like The Outsiders meets Pumpkinhead.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Weird concept, I know.
It is. Yeah.
But it's good. It's good stuff.
All right. I trust you, man.
I heard it was a book, but I never read the book, so I can't compare it.
Wow. Okay. Well, there you go, guys. Dark Harvest. Sounds like a good one for everybody. If y'all haven't seen it, I certainly haven't, but I'm going to. Sounds like this week. That's what it sounds like for sure.
It's happening.
It's happening.
It's happening.
All right, guys.
Definitely happening.
Well, I'll meet you guys backstage shortly. In just a second, we'll say goodbye. But well, my cough is coming back. Hold on. It held off pretty good for almost 2.5 hours, and then now here we come. But that's my body saying enough. My throat's like, okay, we're done. We're rebelling now officially.
Yeah.
But guys, thanks for being here, everyone in the chat. Super chats, your support, your encouragement, your great ideas and theories. It was all a great night, and I had a wonderful time. Don't forget to subscribe to my guest, Killjoy Jake. I shot him 6 times, Destination Station. You will be happy that you did, and I will see all of you back here on my channel Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Central. We are going to be watching The Jester. So be sure you're here for the live watch party. And I will see you guys backstage shortly. All right. Thanks, you guys, for being here. I had a wonderful time.
Thank you.
Thanks for the invite.
You're
Yeah.
very
Glad we
welcome.
can catch up and hang out.
Absolutely. We're going to do it again soon, man. We got to do it sooner. Well, we're not going to wait as long for next time, for sure.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Y'all have a great night. Much love to everyone. See you soon. Good night.
See you, everybody.
Hey, you have been watching Craving Something Scary. This is Lee Waddell, the original Ghostface, thanking you for stopping by and checking it out.